And here we go, Lions game day, live right here on the Woodward Sports Network and woodwardsports.com. Thank you guys for being a part of it. We are about 2 hours from kickoff. The Lions taking on the Patriots today. Lots of stuff to talk about all around the NFL, plus lots of stuff to talk about with the Lions. We got a bye week coming up next week, too. We're going to discuss all of it today, and we want you guys to give us your input in the chat as well, woodwardsports.com. My name is Stick. Adam is finally taking a damn day off for the first time in like 70 days.
Why?
Because he's a slacker.
He's trying to make his wife happy, I guess.
Well, he's still trying to do that, but we'll see if that happens. My name is Stick. That is Tom Mazawey on the desk. We have Spencer Raxter in the TD booth. And then a special guest. I thought he was just joining us for a segment.
Oh, no, he's a player.
But you're here all morning, right?
I'm locked in. We're going all 2 hours. Let's do it.
Former Lion Rob Sims is with us and always representing that primitive brand that you and Calvin Johnson got going on as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice. Absolutely. Shout out to the Primitive Squad.
Yeah, you guys are everywhere, too, man. I saw you at golf outings all over this damn state this year.
Oh, yeah, man. Retired guys and golf outings, man. Like peanut butter and jelly, man.
Yeah, man. And Rob, you got some new stuff coming out that just came out too, right?
Oh yeah. We got Primitive Performance is coming out. That's kind of our like ode back to being in athletics. You know, our first topical. We got like a liquid IV type treatment that we're doing as well for hydration. So we got all this cool stuff coming down the pipe, man. So it's been a great journey, but we got a lot in front of us.
We'll chat about it a little bit later. By the way, in case you guys want to know, NFL Europe, yes, it's still going on. Packers 20-10 over the Giants at halftime. We will keep you posted throughout the morning.
Yeah, but we don't get the NFL Network here for some reason.
I got it on my phone. You got
it on your phone, so man.
I got it.
So you're pulling a fish. You're pulling a fish today, just watching the sports on your phone while the show's going on.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, the first thing to talk about, we got the whole rundown of the show today, but the first thing that's on here is the Lions have waived a couple kickers.
Yes, they have.
Thank goodness.
Dominic Eberle, they had him last week off the practice squad. It didn't work out, as everybody knows. He was let go, and Austin Seibert, the man he was replacing, the man that won the kicking battle, he was released as well. They did pick up on waivers from Chicago, Michael Badgley. So Michael Badgley, I think he kicked for the Chargers back in the day. He's a pretty good kicker. It looks like he is your new Lions kicker. Back in Rob's day, you didn't have those problems. You had you got a guy that nailed game-winning kicks.
Yeah, I mean,
by the name of Matt Prater.
I had a couple GOATs over my time. You know, I had the great Matt Prater and of course Jason Hansen. So
the best.
Yeah, I had the guys. So yeah, I mean those guys were unreal.
What does that do for the confidence of your offense when you know, hey man, if we just get to the 35-yard line, we're at least putting 3 points on the board? Does that take a lot of pressure off you guys? And it's just nice to have that, right?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. You know, especially in the NFL where the games are so tight, right? And you're winning by 3 points, you're winning by a touchdown. You know, just having the ability to have a guy that you can hang your hat on that can get it done for you in the end, man, is so valuable.
And conversely, have you ever played with a kicker that you don't have to name names, but just like, man, we don't trust this guy. Like it's all on us. If we don't score a touchdown, we're losing this damn game.
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty fortunate when it comes to kickers. You know, I never had a guy where I was just like, man, this guy can't get it done. But I could understand. I mean, the guy's got one job. You know what I mean? You got to be pretty frustrated to see a guy come out and miss. There's only 32 of them in the league. For goodness sake. So
and they don't even practice. Like that's what they do in practice. They just kick, right?
I mean, most of the kickers I knew, man, they be getting their master's degrees during practice, online, doing all kind of crazy stuff.
It's a great gig.
Lifting, crazy.
Long snapper and kicker. Got to be the two best gigs in football.
Oh, man.
And holder.
Backup quarterback.
Oh, yeah, backup quarterback.
Muehlbach had it made, man, for 20 years.
He did.
It was unreal.
And he gets a gig with the Lions after that. So how about that? The game I want to talk about is the Packers and Giants right now underway. 20-10 at the half. Packers leading in London. You had an opportunity to play in London back in the day, and I remember the game well. It was the Falcons and the Lions. Lions with a great comeback on that one.
Speaking of kickers, that was a big kick.
Yeah, Matt Prater, there's the one. I was telling you guys earlier, man, I got ran over in that play. We won it. You know what I mean? I'm always laughing at that when I look back on that game. But great experience playing over in London, and man, we spent some time in the countryside at a rugby, like a rugby stadium kind of practice and stuff like that, and seeing London, and it was great, man. It was a great trip.
It looks like the fans are really into it. I mean, the stadiums are beautiful. Wembley Stadium's awesome. They played in one last week. I forgot the name of it. But these are NFL stadiums. And Roger Goodell came out this week, and he even said the London can support not only one team, but two teams.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, I think if you look at the game and you look at the actual fans, I mean, you've got fans that got, no matter what team is playing, they got every single fan from all over Europe. You know, people travel a couple hours to come see a game, right? Because the NFL is so popular. So, absolutely, I believe it can take two, and I think there could be more leagues all over Europe and Asia.
They had Lions fans over there when you were there?
They have Lions fans over there.
Those
Lions
poor
fans have
bastards.
fans everywhere.
How the hell did they pick the Lions
Yeah.
out of all? Like, I was born into this, so there's nothing I could do. I could imagine sitting in Europe and being like, you know what? I'm going to pick the Lions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Barry and Calvin.
I'm telling you, man. You sure it's not when the fans are walking in the game? One gate, they give out Lion gear. The other gate, they give out Falcon gear. Isn't that the way it goes? Or are they actually buying all of this stuff? This?
These people are buying this stuff. Actually, me and Cal went over to Italy one time for he did like a meet and greet over in Italy, and there was 300 people in the mall, like trying to get his thing. Man, it's unreal, man. The game is just going that far. It's good to see.
So tell us about the travel time. If there's a couple teams in London, and they got to go travel to L.A. or they got to travel to New York, I mean, what does that take out of a player?
You know, it's definitely going to be difficult. I mean, I remember we were going out to when we went to London. There were all these rules about we needed to sleep on the plane for this many hours, and you need to wear sunglasses in the morning when you first get up to kind of get you acclimated.
Wow.
None of that works, right? We're all doing our own thing anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I mean,
when you're awake,
takes a while. Yeah, exactly. I can't make myself go to sleep. So I mean, it's going to be a challenge, but that just kind of adds to the fun of football. You know, it's just a challenge they got to conquer.
It's great to have Rob Sims in studio here, sticking. He would take you to kickoff here of the Lions and the Patriots. They don't play very often, Stick.
No, they don't. The last time they played was at Ford Field, and it was an empty stadium. Nobody was there. They absolutely torched us. And I can remember, I think it was like 10 years ago when Tom Brady was their quarterback inside Ford Field. The Lions played close that entire game, and then Tom Brady just came back and
that was a Sunday night game.
I was at that game in the end zone watching it, and at some point I thought we had a chance to beat the Patriots. Today, I think we have a chance to beat the Patriots.
I do as well.
But I was wrong then. I don't know if I'm wrong
I don't
today.
think you're going to be wrong this time. You got a rookie quarterback and Bailey Zappi getting a start here. Obviously, they get two guys knocked out. Mac Jones is out. And then your backup, Brian Hoyer, put on injured reserve. He had concussion a couple of weeks ago. So Bailey Zappi, a rookie quarterback, Rob. I know you're on the O-line, but what is the D-line talking about today? The D-line obviously struggling all year so far for Detroit, except one game.
Yeah, I mean, the D-line's got to be licking their chops. You know, a guy that's inexperienced, a guy that if you get in his face, he's going to make mistakes. And you got to think why the other two guys are out. Obviously, they got some flaws in their offensive line and some flaws in their blocking techniques and their schemes. So those guys should have a pretty good day, gain some confidence off of this one.
Yeah, and he's not a mobile quarterback, so that should bode well for us, because that's been the issue.
He's like a Mac Jones, really. He's a smart guy, supposedly. He had a great year at Western Kentucky when he was drafted. Look at Bill Belichick. He drafted a quarterback, even having a rookie quarterback and Mac Jones do so well. What's he do this year? He drafts a quarterback. And look at this. He needs a quarterback.
You're still on that. Lions should have drafted a quarterback BS.
Listen.
Seriously, you're still on that?
Jared Goff has sold me.
Okay, good.
Sold me.
Good.
But you still need a viable backup. Am I wrong?
No, I agree with that. I remember when I first got to the Lions and Matthew went down, and Sean Hill stepped in. I don't know if you guys remember Sean Hill.
That was probably the best backup quarterback we've had in 10 years.
He was great, man.
Yeah.
And we would go to war with Sean because we just love Sean. I mean, I think if you always got that number 2, because you never know what happened, I think it's great. I kind of agree. I think you always should bring a quarterback in. Nothing against Goff, but I think it's always good to have somebody else.
Hey, we got Spencer Raxter in the booth. I know he and I.
Yes.
We were on. Whose wagon were we on?
We
Spence?
were on Malik Willis.
We were on Malik Willis. bandwagon.
We made it 9 minutes into the show.
Look at
Malik Willis. 9 minutes, guys.
Hell of a player. Hell of a player.
Rob, you had to like Malik Willis, right?
Oh,
His
yeah.
tape and all coming in. Wouldn't you roll the dice on him in the third round?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, a guy with that kind of talent that can move like he can move, I mean, you're not going to get worse with having a guy like that around. You just won't. You need those guys.
And he could grow into the position. Yeah, he's a guy that's going to team. He's going to be a project. Big deal. The guy's got a big arm. He's got legs. He can move.
He got legs.
I'll
draft a quarterback with legs too, man.
Listen, I want a guy like that here in Detroit. We haven't had one.
Absolutely.
Let's face it.
Yeah. Now, when I was in Seattle, man, we had Seneca Wallace as our backup.
I remember that.
Iowa State. Yeah.
Man, it was always great when Seneca would come in. Because it would just change up the whole offense, change up the whole scheme. They couldn't plan for it. It was great.
It was great when you'd sub him in Madden, too. He could do some special things in Madden.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Seattle, last week they put 48 points up on the Lions with Geno Smith. Now, Geno, journeyman, with the New York Jets, gets in a fight there in the locker room, gets traded a couple different times, winds up in Seattle. Pete Carroll's like, that's my guy. Yep. They let Russell Wilson go. We got to talk about Russell Wilson, by the way. But what's your take on Geno Smith from last week to going forward? Do you think that's the real Geno Smith, or did he just face the worst defense in the history of football?
I think if you look at Geno, his career, he's always shown flashes of being able to do some really, really good things. And he's always run into the fight in the locker room, or he's run into a crazy injury or something like this. I think if Geno does have some time, he's a guy that, they can hang their hat on. Whether he's going to take him to the Super Bowl or something like that, I don't know about that. But I've always liked Geno. Always liked Geno's game. We're kind of around the same age a little bit. I like Geno.
It's weird, though. At year 10, it's starting to click for him. How often have you seen that in the NFL? First of all, anybody make it to year 10. Second of all, that's the year it starts to click for you at the quarterback position.
Yeah. I mean, Mike Tomczak, old Ohio State guy, man, he was just always, that guy.
You had to bring him up. Huh?
That guy's hilarious. I love that guy, by the way. He just always tell me just about backup quarterbacks, and he was just always talking about the centers got to wash themselves. It was hilarious, man. But those guys, man, they just don't get the reps that they need to really make it happen.
Yeah. Well, Geno Smith tore our ass up last week. And
he did.
I think he's completing 77% of his passes this season. And that's not just against us. 77% in the NFL is insane.
It is insane. He's having a great time, and he's feeling it, right? What'd they say to him? He don't. What was the quote on that one?
They wrote me off, but I didn't write back.
Exactly.
I didn't write back.
Thank you, Spence. I knew somebody would be there to pick me up.
Go ahead. That game last week, and that leads us into, the quarterback play this year against the Detroit Lions has been the issue. Carson Wentz is really the only guy that we've kind of been able to slow down, and that was just for a half, and that's because we got massive pressure on him with 3 sacks by Aiden Hutchinson in the first half. Outside of that, though, quarterbacks have just had their way with the Lions. Do you expect Zappy to do something special against the Lions? That's the most Lions thing that happens. I mean, what was it, 2 years ago? P.J. Walker comes in.
Yeah, from the USFL in Carolina.
He tore us up, and then
the XFL,
Sam McDonald, or his first game, and when he was a rookie, he tore us up. Who else tore us up just out of nowhere as a quarterback?
Lots of teams. I mean,
Matt Flynn.
Yeah, Matt Flynn.
Matt Flynn got
paid.
I
was at that game. He played that game.
Man.
That was crazy.
That was a $41 million game for
crazy.
Matt Flynn.
We thought we had that one locked up, man. He came out there firing. It's crazy.
You're not kidding, man.
I just think it'll be different today because not only is it Bailey Zappi, a rookie quarterback, this is a Matt Patricia, Joe Judge-led offense. There's no way we can give up more than 25 points.
Right. Well, that's something that I think we got to spend probably a good segment on later on today during this pregame show.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for commenting on woodwardsports.com. We appreciate you in the chat. There's already some funny stuff going on. But that's one thing that Darren McCarty brought up earlier in this week. This game should be personal for the Lions. This should be the Patricia Bowl. If Patricia's face wasn't plastered all over that locker room, this guy took our culture, he took everything, he flushed it down the toilet.
He sent our best players away. Now he's on the other side as an offensive coordinator, and if we don't show up, our defense has been questioned. Today's the day to plant our flag and prove that we belong in this league. Do you think they're using that as motivation in the locker room?
They got to be.
They have to, right?
They have to be. After what has happened after Caldwell left, that whole regime. And
9-7 wasn't good enough, Rob.
Yeah.
9-7 wasn't good enough.
Yeah, we got to get rid of him.
Yeah, get rid of him.
Oh, here we go.
Let's not get into that.
Here we go.
Start crying over here.
Please, don't bring Adam in the studio and talk Jim Caldwell, please. Please.
Jim is the man. Yeah, Jim is the man. But no, they gotta be carrying a little bit chip on their shoulder about this one, and they show their old coach what they really made of. That's what they got to do.
All right, well, we're going to talk a lot more Lions with former Lion Rob Sims coming up next, and get to some of your questions in the woodwardsports.com chat. And we will do all of that coming up next right here on the Lions Pregame Show, brought to you by Swiss Insurance.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect?
Yeah, that's the only
Here's
one
my
that's in there.
Easy routine.
Oh.
Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991, yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Welcome back to the Lions Pregame Show, live on Woodward Sports and woodwardsports.com. All brought to you by Swiss Insurance. Make sure if you need some new insurance, you hit up Swiss. Some of the things we want to talk about now, the challenges that the Detroit Lions are going to face today against the New England Patriots. One of those challenges may be remedied, though, because Amon-Ra St. Brown looking like he's going to play. And here's what Dan Campbell had to say about him.
Anytime you can get a player like him back, it helps from production, but also just what he brings. He's a spark plug. He's a leader. He's he's a hard hat guy. He's going to bring his lunch pail and go to work. So just to have him in any capacity would be very helpful.
So, yeah, that's Dan Campbell talking about bringing Amon-Ra St. Brown back. And I noticed Dan Campbell playing with his wrist. Remember, he fractured his wrist because I did the same thing earlier this year, and I catch myself doing that too. So that's why Dan Campbell was doing this.
And he's a nervous wreck.
He's got to be a nervous wreck too. Yes. But we were talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown coming back and about some of the challenges that the Lions are going to face. And you think they're going to use Amon-Ra as more of a decoy, that he's not completely healthy. They're just putting him out there because the offense needs him. I would ask you, I don't think they would do that because the offense worked fine last week without him, right?
That's the thing with me. I'm in the camp where at this point I don't want to put and I'm going to call him my prized possession. He is my guy. He is, to me, he's the guy that makes his offense go, and I'm talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown. If he had that bad ankle, and I saw it against Minnesota, he was hobbling bad. Took last week off. Didn't practice at all last week. This week he's on and off. I don't know. Personally, I would have said on this today, I want him to be healthy. Next week is your bye. You come out healthy against Dallas, 100%. You get him back. I want to ask Rob, when you get an ankle like that, you're a wide receiver, man. Mm-hmm. Are you playing him today? Are you sitting him, or is he in there as a decoy?
I would think I would sit him. For this one, I think going into the Patriots, right, it's a winnable game for us. We can put up some points. They're down their third-string quarterback. I want him as healthy as possible right now and to make sure that he can do what he can do on the field. When that guy's on the field, man, he's a game changer.
He's electric.
Yeah.
That's the thing, man. I just don't want to take chances with this. And I want to win the game. I want to go into the bye at 2-3. I do not want to go in at 1-4 and then come out against Dallas. Maybe Dak Prescott's back by then, even though Cooper Rush has been good. He hasn't had a real team to come after him yet, as far as I'm concerned. But you go into that 1-4, maybe 1-5 on the road again. Then you got Miami. Then you got the Packers. You know what we're doing? We're talking about mock drafts at that time. I want my guys healthy coming out of the break. That's just my opinion. Last week, he put 45 points up.
That was going to be my point. If last week we put up 10 points, we were struggling to move the ball, the offense looked like it was dragging, it was very clear that this guy was missing from the offense, then kind of rush him, get him back in there. We needed that spark. But to your point, last week, the offense looked fine. TJ Hawkinson came alive because he got all those Amon-Ra little short passes. We can survive without Amon-Ra St. Brown. That being said, if I could see Amon-Ra St. Brown on the field, I want to see Amon-Ra St. Brown on the field.
You know what? I roll the dice with him. Fantasy, no one gives a damn, but I am putting him in. He is.
Are you? Because that's what Spence was questioning earlier. Josh Reynolds or Amon-Ra?
Josh Reynolds is going to play, and he tell you, as a guy that played on one leg last week, played hard. He's come out. That number 8 on him looks good. I'm loving what I'm seeing. What are you thinking of this offense as a whole, Rob? You blocked, for a hell of an offense as well.
Yeah. I mean, I like this offense. I like this offense. They can obviously put up points. They put up 45 last week. I think that offensive line is a top 5 offensive line in the league. I really believe that. I was a guy that was looking at Penei Sewell if I was GM, I wouldn't take him that high. But after seeing this guy
said you
play,
wouldn't have taken him?
I wouldn't have, right?
okay.
You would have took Micah Parsons,
Well,
right?
yeah, I would have. You know,
Man, you two agree on everything.
well, for me, you got to think. You know,
Now I know why Man's brought you on today. It's like, hey, I got Rob Sims to back up all my opinions.
well, I mean, you know, for me, I'm a fourth rounder that found my stride,
Right.
So I'm thinking like, man, a guy taking that high, but when you really look at him, see what he is. You know, he is that Walter Jones, Jonathan Ogden generational talent. He is that.
That's good.
And I think with everybody else that that are around him, of course, you got the Ohio State boys, which I love them, Taylor and Jonah. And I think those guys are great players. They're well coached, and you know, you're always going to be able to put some pieces in there and be successful.
You got 3 number 1 picks on the offensive line. No team has 3 number 1 picks on the offensive line. That's the only reason I said I would have passed on Sewell that year. And I said he might be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And by the way, happy birthday to Penei Sewell.
Yeah.
It's his birthday today. What is he,
Yeah.
21 years old, 22 years old?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I'm actually meeting him tomorrow at his foundation. Me and Calvin got invited out, so we're gonna go check him out. So I'm looking forward to meeting him and telling him like, hey, I wouldn't have pictured that high,
that.
but you are the man. You are the man.
That.
Yeah, I
are
didn't
the
think you
man.
were worth the money, but you kind of worth the money.
you worth money.
What though changed when you started to see him play? That changed that opinion. Like, hey, this guy isn't worth it. To now, it's like, oh, this is that dude.
Yeah, you never see, and I mean, I saw this with Taylor when he first came in. Taylor came in with just such great technique and a confidence about him. And I think Penei did the same, but he just has all these other things that are around him, his strength. And I saw the way we stood up to Aaron Donald. He had me there. I was like, oh, you the man. You the man.
Well, you boss up and grab his face mask?
Yeah.
That was really a great moment.
What does that do for the rest of the team when they see that, too?
I mean, they say that's a guy that should be here for a very, very long time that you can hang your hat on, and he'll go to war with you.
Sorry, I'm just reading the WoodwardSports.com chat. Tactical Puma just quoted Maz. I thought he was going to be a Hall of Famer, but I would have passed on him.
Yes, because Micah Parsons is going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
that's why.
Micah Parsons, though.
And who's worse, offense or defense? They had a good line already. Sorry, Puma.
Sorry, this guy's going to wear a gold jacket. Nah, we don't need
but
him.
my guy's wearing a gold jacket too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he's Lawrence Taylor, but he looks pretty damn good so far.
Stephen A. Smith called him the next Lawrence Taylor. That's
And I grew up with Lawrence Taylor, okay? I even worked at LT's restaurant. That's how old I am.
What did you do at LT's
I
restaurant?
was a bar back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was a bar back.
I heard you were a bouncer, too, once upon a time.
I wasn't a
Maz.
bouncer. I was a bar manager.
Oh, okay.
Bar
But you've
manager.
had to bounce some people out the club.
Yeah, we've done, but I always had backup. I always had backup.
I see Maz doing it like old school mafia style, just
Yeah.
dragging
I
guys
went like
out,
this, just like this.
out in the back alley. Yeah. Just Maz just standing there giving him the nod.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, the guy disappears with his steak. Like, where the hell did that guy go?
Those are the good days in Jersey.
But it's good that Penei Sewell has won you over, and I think he's pretty much won over all of Detroit,
except for Maz.
except for Maz.
No, he's white deal. I love the guy. I just like Penei better. I mean, Micah better.
But
That's
when
all.
you look at this offensive line, you consider them one of the top 5 in the league?
I do. I absolutely do. I mean, I think you got to, like we said, they're well paid, right? You know, I look back at us. We were kind of like a ragtag bunch of guys that just were like nasty and enjoyed hurting people, right? That's what we were.
Yeah.
You know, when I look at
That's football right here!
but I look at these guys, man. These guys are as advertised, right? They're paying for a top 5 line. That's what they're getting.
Yeah.
Rob Sims in the house with us today. Primitive group. Got lots of good stuff to talk about that. You and Calvin Johnson getting together. All right, I'm going to ask you now. Calvin's not in the house here, okay?
Okay.
He's not here. So I'm going to ask you about why did Calvin retire early?
Why did he retire early?
Give us the truth.
I think it's a very similar story to Barry, right? I think they had done so much in the league, right, in a very, very short time. And they were looking at where we were headed and seeing at that moment, at least over the next few years, that they weren't be able to hit those other milestones like the Super Bowls and things like that, right? Once you've got enough All-Pros and Pro Bowls and all that, you've had enough, right? And I think
Your body takes enough as well.
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy because I think Cal knew even before the season and was still out there playing great ball. And,
Wow, yeah. You think?
Yeah, I mean, I mean,
there's a
he's
rule
the best
named
I've
after
seen.
him, right? Isn't there a rule named after him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Against the Bears.
The Calvin Johnson catch.
Everywhere we go, people bring that up.
Still a catch.
Yeah, that
Still
was
a
a catch
catch.
to me, 100%.
Here's a hard question. If it wasn't for the Lions, do you think he would have been playing in the NFL? Like if the Lions would have traded him elsewhere, like a Stafford situation, you think he would have stayed in the game?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
He's
the reason
jealous
why.
of Staff. A lot of people are jealous of what Stafford had. What happened?
Yeah,
to
I
him.
mean, sometimes you just need to change the scenery. You know, it's not really about the team or the city. You know, sometimes we take it personal as being the team or the city.
Yeah.
Right. The truth is, sometimes you just need to change a scenery, and you know, I think in different situations, I might have played more than 9 or 10 years. You know, 9 years if I was in a different situation because I just maybe needed that change.
Sure.
Right. But
where would you have liked to have gone if you had your druthers?
If I
at
had
that
to go,
moment?
you know, my dad was a Cleveland Brown. I think I always had a dream of doing that. 'Cause
Wow.
I thought it'd be awesome to be second generation Cleveland Brown. I thought that'd be cool.
I think you are the only human on the planet that has a dream of playing for the Cleveland Browns.
Sad life. Sad life I led.
Calvin Braylon sits in this chair and he's like, man, I got drafted by Cleveland.
Yeah, man. I just, yeah.
Who's got it worse, the Lion fan or the Browns fan?
Oof.
Because that's a good debate.
I say the Browns fan.
Why is that? Because they lost their team?
Because quarterback position is so important to an organization in a city, right? And you've had really notable quarterbacks here. Stafford is one of those ones that are, go down, even golf, right? Guys that you can hang your hat on for a few years, and then, Cleveland. I don't know what the stat is since they came back from being sold,
Right.
When
They were an
got
expansion
Baltimore.
team.
Yeah, expansion team.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's got to be in the 20s, almost 30s of guys that they flipped. And I think for a city, that's the biggest thing, or an organization, that's the biggest thing. And what I prided myself when I came to Detroit, right before me, 10 years before I was here at left guard position, there were 16 guys.
Wow.
That started. And I was like, you know what? That's the one thing I'm gonna cure this right now for the organization. I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna give them 80 straight games, which I did.
Can you do the Amon-Ra St. Brown and name all 16?
I cannot.
He named every receiver that got picked before him on that Hard Knocks. What'd you think of Hard Knocks, by the way?
I thought it was great. That was great exposure. I thought they get to see a little bit of the crazy in the Detroit Lions organization, but I think it's cool. It was cool to see. It was cool to be highlighted. Looking forward to the draft next year, and it'll be fun.
Would you have liked the cameras on you guys back in the day? And Dominic and Sue there?
I wouldn't have because I was with Raiola.
Yeah.
We don't need to show that.
Hey.
We don't need to show that.
Raiola was an animal, man. I used to host Tonic Nightclub on Sundays back in the day. And, man, Raiola would roll through with a bunch of, Pettigrew would come through, Felton would come through, and they would buy out tables and they had fun.
It was a different day back then.
Yeah.
We enjoyed ourselves.
Hey, young Raiola is a Buckeye.
Yeah, man. I can't be more proud of him, man. That's my little nephew, is what I call him, right? So it was cool during this process. Him texting me and saying, Uncle Rob, this is a cool place.
Wow.
And now he's a Buckeye. And actually, we just had our 20-year anniversary, and him and the whole family were there, Yvonne and his brother, and it was just, it's cool to see the second generation coming up. And now I'm like, oh man, I got to relive another 4 years with Dominic Raiola. I love this now.
It's good times.
So it's going to be good.
I was there yesterday at East Lansing, and not because I'm a Spartan
Were you
guy.
the one guy in the stands in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, no, I had left right before the fourth quarter, went back to the tailgate.
That was embarrassing.
We went down there because my daughter goes to MSU, so we go for some tailgating. I'm not going to go to tailgates. I want to go watch the game, even though it's that game. So I go sit down. I had a great seat, and I was just enamored watching Ohio State. From their uniforms, I was telling the people around, I'm like, look at these guys. I mean, they look like professional athletes. The speed is different. It was men against boys yesterday. They really took it easy on the Spartans yesterday. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry, Spence. But it's the truth.
Spence graduated from State. So
I'm not degrading State here. I'm upgrading Ohio State. And just to see what that program does year after year after year. Man, it's something. And they got a right guard on there, number 79.
Oh, yeah.
He's like almost 7 feet tall.
He's a beast. They got the same thing with offensive lines, man. They got some guys that's going to make a lot of money here in the NFL pretty soon.
Well, and they highlighted all the wide receivers that have come out of
my God.
Ohio
Marvin
State.
Harrison Jr.?
Marvin Harrison Jr. is a
unbelievable.
monster.
And Smith and Jigba didn't play.
Yeah. There's one kid, G. Scott Jr., got his first touchdown. me and his dad were really close when we were in Seattle. He's from Seattle too, and then, to see him come to Seattle and say, "Hey, I want to go to Ohio State," and get his first touchdown was great to see.
Man,
sweet.
Are you still tight with the program? Do you go to Columbus a lot?
Yeah, we just had our 20-year anniversary from the national championship a few weeks ago, so
I remember that one.
It was cool to go back and see. And the one cool thing about that is that Coach Tucker from Michigan State.
Yeah.
He was the he was the cornerback coach there. He was the DB coach there.
Oh, nice.
So it's kind of cool that I'm in Michigan. I'm watching him do it, and Coach D'Antonio was the defensive coordinator on that team. So, it's a small league. Even the Big Ten is small.
You're not kidding.
It's cool to see.
I'm not skidding off the Lions and pros here, but Mel Tucker. Mm-hmm. What's your take on Mel Tucker?
Coming.
Tuck coming or Tuck going?
No,
What's
Tucker's
going?
always coming.
He's coming, huh?
He always coming.
All right, so what's that mean? Tell me what that means.
Well, I think he's a guy
so what is coming?
He's got old school principles, right? He's got those principles that Coach Tressel, Coach D'Antonio had, and it's really about his structure, his culture. The players will come, right? The wins will come, as you saw last year. Sometimes, unfortunately, in Michigan, we just got to be a little bit more patient than we want to.
No kidding.
This coming.
We're joined by Rob Sims right now on the Lions pregame show right here on the Woodward Sports Network and woodwardsports.com. Shout out to Swiss Insurance. We're going to check in with Maddie Miller coming back next right here on Woodward Sports. We'll be right back.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life.
Good job.
Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Got to grab the cranberry. Oh, wait. It's 2 for $4. Got to double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Maddie Miller here with your Detroit Lions pregame report. Dan Campbell is looking to get his first win on the road as the Lions head coach today in Foxborough, Massachusetts. This one has a little bit more spice on it as the Lions are facing their former head coach, Matt Patricia, for the first time since they separated in 2020. Both teams are looking to snap a 2-game losing streak and avoid a 1-4 start on the season. The Lions will be up against the Patriots' third-string quarterback, Bailey Zappi, as they too are struggling with injuries. DeAndre Swift, DJ Chark, and Charles Harris are among those who won't play in today's game. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Josh Reynolds are listed as questionable. However, Reynolds is expected to play, while St. Brown will be a game-time decision. The Lions will test out yet another kicker in today's game. Signing to the practice squad earlier this week, Michael Badgley has been elevated to the active roster after Austin Seibert was waived by the team yesterday. Hopefully, third time is the charm for the Lions kickers. Another roster move they made yesterday was putting wide receiver Quintus Cephas on IR. He suffered a foot injury in last week's game against the Seattle Seahawks and didn't return to practice this week. The Lions made several adjustments to their defense this week, so we'll have to wait and see if those changes worked. But that's all I have for you right now. I will keep you posted as more news comes in.
And that is a Lions beat reporter for WoodwardSports.com, Maddie Miller, reporting in front of a bush. And thank you for that, Maddie. Great background choice today.
It could have been Wrigley. Could have been Wrigley.
It could be anywhere. That could have been in front of her apartment, for all I know. But
that's okay.
No, Maddie out and about, doing her thing, doing the reports. Always love to hear from her. And Amon-Ra St. Brown just is officially listed as active.
Oh, yeah,
today.
he's active. I got you inactives if you'd like to hear them.
Let's run them down
right.
for us, man.
Here's the
just came out, right? 11:30.
DJ Chark not playing today. We kind of expected that. John Kaminsky going to miss another game. The defensive lineman, they could really use him because he's been terrific earlier in the year. Charles Harris is sitting this one out. It's bad. There's another blow to the defensive line, Rob. We'll talk about that. Safety, Juju Hughes. Matt Nelson, the tackle. He's sitting it out. Cornerback, Ermanni Oruwariye is out. And DeAndre Swift sitting it out again today. We expected that, obviously. Hasn't practiced in a couple of weeks. So there you go. There's your inactives. So Chark, Harris, and Nelson, and Oruwariye, the real stickouts in this one.
Yeah, and that, like we said, moving Quintez Cephas to the IR, that's a big move, too.
I thought he was on the IR all year.
Yeah, he's been on the IR since we drafted him, unfortunately. And that is unfortunate because that kid has the talent, man. Like, when we've seen him perform, he's able to go up over wide receivers. He's not the fastest guy, but great at using that body position. So that is a loss, even though he's not one of our top three wide receivers.
But that's why Amon-Ra St. Brown's playing, I think.
Yeah.
Basically, they need another body. Chark can't go. You got to put the guy in.
Yeah, so injury report. Rob, you ever on the injury report and, just kind of was like, nah, I'm playing anyways?
Man, 2011, man, I had this bout of migraines. I get migraines out of nowhere.
Too. Awful.
It was terrible.
How's Primitive for migraines, by the way?
Oh, Primitive is great for migraines.
All right, I'll talk to you about
Excellent
that.
transition, man.
I'll talk to you about that, because I need it.
Yeah.
I work with Braylon. I need it.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Okay.
You working with Braylon, you definitely need it.
Okay.
Yeah, come see me. But yeah, I had this bout with migraines, and probably shouldn't have been playing. But saying, like I said, I had that thing in my mind that I was going to be a mainstay. I was going to be a guy that kept playing. So there was some days where I was like, look, I'm going either way it goes. So for sure.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've seen obviously with the Tua Tagovailoa situation and stuff like that. The NFL's really cracking down on that. Do you feel that they are?
You think they're cracking down?
That's what I was going to say. Do you feel that they are? Or do you feel like, because I'm just like, they're doing that to cover their ass, right? They're just saying we care.
Oh yeah.
But they don't really care because at the end of the day, they want you on the field, right?
Oh yeah. Look, I mean, the players are assets, right? They're assets to the brand. They're assets to the organization, right? They're, jersey sales and ticket sales and all that stuff depend on them being on the field and playing at a certain level, right? So there is a fine line between wanting your guy to play and wanting the player to be as healthy as possible, right? So I think as time goes, right, there's going to be some movement and some changes to how they do concussions and look at concussions. But we saw some slip through the cracks, right? It's not uncommon. Things slip.
Do you feel like you've ever had a concussion?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was one of the best pulling guards in the league. Stick.
How many concussions do you think you've delivered?
My fair share, for sure. For sure, I've gotten the best. I think the biggest collision I've ever had, me and London Fletcher, my last year we played in Washington. And London had smoked me every single other time we had played together. And I knew London from back in Cleveland back in the day. But and you can ask people about this is back they played in that game. It was one of the biggest collisions ever. And I was a little woozy. For sure.
That brings me up to the helmets. The helmets, they've come up with all these new helmets, all these newfangled helmets. They got this and that. But is it time to put something on, let's say the quarterbacks alone? Is it something? I know that it's not the best looking thing in the world. I remember Mark Kelso with the Buffalo Bills back in the day. Do you remember him at all?
The double helmet?
The double helmet. He had that
helmet,
like that.
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, and the same color as the helmet, logo intact and all of that, but it gave him extra protection. Everyone said, "Oh, look at this guy. He looks like a Martian, basically." But is it time to maybe add something onto these things?
I don't think it's the helmet, right? I think it's what are we doing internally in the body to help the concussion, right? Either way, whatever you put in your head, the concussion is going to come when you're jarred or you hit something. Your brain, the helmet's not going to stop your brain from doing that, right? And the most dangerous thing on the field is the ground, it's the field.
Yeah, of course.
Right? That's where everybody really gets the concussion, right? If you look at Tua, it's hitting the ground, right? So I think internally, I think that obviously that's somewhere, not to do a plug, but that's something that we're looking forward to doing in Primitive, right? We believe plant medicine can actually help that long term and at least get players back on the field safely. Right?
Why isn't the NFL letting you guys in there?
Well, I think we got to build it first.
Follow the money.
I think we got to build it and we got to polish it up and give them something really to see they can do. We're just not there yet, right? The plan hasn't been able to be studied yet. So we're getting close.
I know, but players, they're going to do it on their own. They're going to get healthy on their own.
Do it. Yeah,
they do it.
Well, they've taken at least a small step in not suspending these guys for going the natural route, right? At least that's that's a step in the right direction.
If they test them and they come back, they're going to be suspended.
Yeah. They don't suspend them for weed anymore, do they?
No.
Yeah,
they fine you.
Okay.
Like they do your socks, they fine you.
Yeah, which is good. It's not the ideal solution, but like we're saying, it's progress. We're not going to get there overnight, but at least these guys can go home, self-medicate, and get back on the field in their schedule now.
Well, I know from running a company, decisions make time, right? You got to talk to this person, get approved for this person. I can imagine the NFL with $11 billion a year and all the sponsors and all the different people they touch, that they got to have a lot of conversations before they just let that happen. So I get that.
By the way, 2 minutes to go in the third in London. Packers 20, Giants 13. So we'll keep you rolling on that. Hopefully you started your team and sat down people that you didn't need. Because, these morning games sneak up on you.
I almost started Romeo Doubs today, but I did not, and he's only got 2 catches right now for 21 yards, so I'm glad I didn't. But he's had 8 targets the last couple of games. He's turned into Aaron Rodgers' go-to guy on the goal line, too.
They drafted him, 4th round, and they gave Christian Watson 1st round. That kid hasn't had a chance yet except for the first play of the year.
Yeah, blew it. Yeah. Wide open touchdown.
Yep. Rob Sims is here. Lions pregame show going on right now, woodwardsports.com. Rob, you were an offensive player, obviously, but our defense. We got to talk about our defense. Got to talk about Aaron Glenn and what's going on. As an offensive player, how disheartening is it when you're the number 1 offense in the league and your defense is number 32?
Very disheartening.
Is it hard? Yeah.
Hard to win.
Yeah.
No matter what, it's hard to win. I mean, you could have the offense with the and we have here, right? You had Matthew and Calvin together. I mean, you don't see that all the time, right?
In 2014, what were you guys ranked? Because I know we were number 2 in defense that year.
I'm not sure what the ranking was, but I mean, I knew we were still putting up a substantial amount of points and putting up a lot of yards.
Yeah.
And our defense, was unreal. And that's what made 2014 special. We still talking about 2014 as that was the year we could have won it all. We believe that.
Tell us about that. Well, let's go back to that game because that's what we hang our hat on. Yeah. We hang our hat on that non-pass interference call and Des Bryant running on the field, and of course,
taking his helmet off.
First of all, he's not playing yet. He's on the sideline, and he runs on the field. That's an automatic penalty right there. And then, of course, on Brandon Pettigrew, that was injustice, no question about it.
It's correct. I mean, the play happened as close as I am to you right now, right? So I had a vantage point of it. I just remember it being that game, being like, "Oh, we're going to win this one." We were dominating them up front. Reggie Bush had one of the best jukes I've seen since he was playing college ball, right? He just it was unreal. And to see it unfold like that, and that's the reason we lose the game, it's just crazy. And ultimately, that was my last game. Like that's my last play in the NFL.
And
so it's just crazy.
And you think they could have probably won the next week, don't you?
Yeah, I think we would have played Seattle. I know I'd have been up for that game because they traded me.
Yeah, they picked you though.
Yeah, they picked me though. They did pick me, but Pete Carroll sent me packing. But it came back with a little bit of pep in my step for sure.
Man, that would have been unbelievable, man. That was a team with Ndamukong Suh. I remember at the end of the game, he goes to the podium and he teared up.
Yeah,
you don't see Ndamukong Suh cry.
Yeah, I think that surprised everybody a little bit. Ndamukong was kind of like always in his own space. I thought he was. I did think he was a good teammate, but he was kind of quiet, more reserved in his own space. I mean, you would see that fury come out on the field. Right, you're like, oh, okay. But yeah, man, I think everybody knew that the team wouldn't be as strong as it was the year before, right? All of us were up for either contracts or we were getting older, and this is kind of going to be the end of it. And I think everybody knew how special we had, and it just walked out the door.
Yeah, and you said that game you think about daily.
All the time, all the time. Every time we talk about football, I just think about like that's the one we could have really went far. We could have went deep. We were ready.
It's so sad that's what we still talk about here, but.
The only good takeaway from that, though, is we kind of talked about this before the show, too, is Des Bryant getting hosed that next week in Green Bay with that drop pass.
That was a catch, too.
Not according to the rules. That was a pass interference. That ain't a catch.
Little payback.
Yeah.
Little payback.
So it's horrible that's our payback, and that's what we feel good about 2004. Yeah, we got screwed, but they got screwed the next week. But damn, do you guys think you could have gone into Lambeau that next week and punched Aaron Rodgers in the mouth?
Well, they would have had Seattle first.
Oh, yeah, it was different.
Seattle first.
Yep.
Anything would have happened that game. We got into that third game. I mean, Aaron is Aaron no matter what, right? He's a beast. He's a straight beast. So.
Let's go back to this team now. Last week we said 48 points they give up, and the Lions offense scores 45. And we talked about the offense got to feel really bad about the defense and get one stop. I remember Jared Goff last week. They had him mic'd up on NFL Live. And he's like, get one stop. We're going to win this game. Get one stop. When does the offense really get pissed at the D and maybe something happens in the locker room?
Well, it's never a good situation if it does, right? But I would bet that the defensive coaches were in the meeting rooms all week, just giving it to the defensive guys hard, and I'm sure that they pinned each other up in practice, right? To really get the rivalry going, so they can get some fire. I mean, sometimes that's what it takes. We have definitely, as offense, walked out and been pissed at the defense, and in that same breath, they've walked off and been pissed at us because we didn't get it done, right? It's about playing good team ball together. I mean, that's what wins in the NFL, being able to do all three. I would have loved to be able to fly on the wall in some of those meeting rooms, just hopefully they prepare for the rest of the week, man. They're ready to go this week.
Do you know Aaron Glenn at all? Do you know Aaron Glenn?
I've met him. I don't know him very well, but I do. I hear great things about him.
Sure, looks good.
Yeah, he knows his stuff for sure. So,
I mean, I want
Matt
to
said that with such confidence.
I'm a New York Jet guy. He played for the Jets. I like AG. I like him.
Oh, yeah.
But,
I heard he was the one that got burnt though on the Dan Marino fake spike. Well, he was the DB on that play.
A lot of people got hoodwinked on that one.
Dan Marino something else.
Dan Marino something else. But Aaron Glenn, do you think he is coaching for his job today?
I think they coach for their job every day. But yeah,
great answer.
That's a great answer. I do. I do think that, right? I mean, we're in a place right now where the fan base is like, we need to win, and we need to win now. The unfortunate part about that is if we don't, like most things, culture takes time to change, right? So if we don't allow that time, we end up going to this revolving door thing, right? Which I think is the biggest thing that we need to get out of, right? So. Absolutely, he's coaching for his job. I think they all are continually here because we're impatient around here.
Yeah,
I mean, man, it's been 60+ some odd years, except for one good year in '91, and then the couple of years that you guys were together. It's been hell.
Yeah.
Well, you brought up the term culture, and that's something that Dan Campbell's trying to turn around. When you guys were here with Jim Caldwell, it seemed like that SOL mentality, bad things are only going to happen to the Lions, kind of went away for a little bit. And then when Matt Patricia showed up, all of a sudden it came back out of nowhere. And TJ Lang actually mentioned this when he played for the Packers and he played for the Lions, how he had to play were completely different. Like, he could block for Aaron Rodgers one way. If he blocked the same way for Matthew Stafford, he may get a penalty called on him. How much of that stigma is in the locker room, and how much do you guys discuss that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the difference is, when Caldwell was here, that stuff was still happening, right? We just talked about Dallas. That's under his watch. That stuff was still happening.
True.
Right? It just wasn't an excuse he would allow us to use.
Got it.
Right? So it would be like that stuff was happening, but you had these 6 other times where you could have won the game, and you should have won the game. Or, Matthew, you didn't put the ball in the right place. You didn't put it exactly right? Or offensive line, you didn't block as well as you should have, or whatever the case may be. So I think when you talk about culture, that needs to be the difference. It's not so much what's happening to you, but how you respond to it. And I think, Caldwell was great at that. I think Dan is great at that. He's a player and understands that, and if you keep seeing them, they always got this like head down mentality to just keep the team to work and toughness, and that's what you need to get over.
And that accountability works though when it eventually pays off in winning. When you continually lose though, like Dan Campbell has been doing, and I'm not judging Dan Campbell yet, not even 2 seasons into it, so I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but that mentality kind of comes off differently when you keep losing, right? Because then it's like, he doesn't really care about losing. He's just going to keep going forward. Like, no, eventually, because that was one of my complaints about Stafford when he was here. I wanted to see him flip the table every once in a while. Like, I wanted to see him get pissed off after a loss, not just sit there and be like, yeah, offense needed to handle better. And that wasn't his style, and that's fine. Obviously, he's a talented quarterback. That's just me personally. Like, one game after the game got ripped from you, I wanted to see him come and throw a microphone. Do something. You see Tom Brady do it all the time, right?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, absolutely. You do see that. I think it's really about, for me, it's always about being like the authentic person you are, right? And not
be a fake.
Not getting because that shows more than anything, right? Matthew flipping the table, I'd be like, Man, that's not you, right? I got to go to war
But
with
if
you
he
every
did
day.
it once, he'd be like, "Holy hell! This is the first time I've ever seen this. This guy's pissed finally."
That's true.
Like that's what I like.
That's
You know,
true.
not every time because I had an old boss that used to say, "Listen, you can't be the guy that comes in at halftime and flips the table every halftime, or eventually it's gonna be like, all right, here comes coach.
Exactly.
He's flipping the table."
Yeah, that's true.
But just once, man, once in those over
Hey.
10 years, just show me something.
I wanted to see Jim Caldwell get on the refs. I mean,
Yeah.
not once.
He never did.
No, not even that play.
He never did.
Against the Cowboys.
He never did.
He just sat there fiddling with his freaking little microphone there.
Right.
And it pissed me off.
There will be no Caldwell slander up on this desk.
I got mad at
Don't you
that.
talk about Jim like that.
I'm sorry. Gentleman Jim.
Yeah, talk about Jim like that.
He's fiddling with his little mic thing there.
Yeah.
Get on those damn refs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that fire is
Pete
needed
Carroll,
sometimes.
it works for Pete Carroll. Don't you think it works for some coaches?
To get on the ref?
Yeah, because the more you get on them, I think they give you a break later on. I do.
Oh, they're like, I don't feel like dealing with this guy yelling in my ear all day. I want to make this call for better way.
Pete Carroll looks like he has to go to the bathroom every play.
Yeah.
Besides chewing
he's
the
got
gum.
some energy there.
He's got energy.
Yeah,
but
he's all over the place.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I like an animated guy on the sideline.
Yeah, no,
Just
I
my
get
opinion.
it. I get that.
Belichick
I get
does
that.
it.
Oh, he definitely does it. Nick Saban does it.
Yeah.
But those are all winning coaches,
They're
right?
winning coaches.
When
You're
losing coaches do it, it looks like you're just an idiot out there.
Yeah.
Like, man.
Well, I mean, Schwartz did it.
I love Jim Schwartz.
But
I do too.
Schwartz was kind of like
do
the
too.
progression that Dan Campbell is right now. That's the way I look at it with the Lions.
right.
Like the Lions were dead before Schwartz got. You needed somebody that was like the rah-rah guy to get you going, and we got that in Schwartz. And then we needed the X and O's calm guy, treated you guys like men in the locker room,
Yep.
raised expectations, and that's what we got in Caldwell.
You're exactly right.
And that's where I feel like we're at with Campbell, except we're expecting Campbell to evolve into Caldwell too.
Yes. Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. I think, we were just talking about, the losing mentality. Like, you just said you love Jim Schwartz, but if you looked at those last few years,
I know.
we were 0-16, then we won 2, then we won 4, and,
Yep.
and we weren't really killing it, but we were animated. We were nasty. We were,
Yeah, it's fun.
we were flipping tables
I
over.
like nasty.
But we weren't winning.
I get it.
But we weren't
But then
winning.
when you get Ndamukong Suh and he's doing all of these things and the national attention, and he's biting, literally biting kneecaps and kicking
literally
people,
doing it.
Stomping on Evan Dietrich Smith.
Oh, man.
That was great, by
Dietrich
the way.
Smith kicked him first, though. I'll die defending on that.
Yeah.
He gave him a little kick.
I
and-
like
yeah.
that.
Don't
They
start.
had to.
Done won't
I
be
want
done.
that on my team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
don't
mean,
care if they call me a dirty
You
team.
can't be,
I want that.
You can't be nice in football.
The
You gotta
Pistons
be
bad
No.
boys. I like the
No.
Pistons bad boys. That's what I like.
what it takes to win here.
Yes.
So what's going to tell you? We got to kick the door. We got to kick the door open. They're going to just let us in. We got to kick it open, right? So that's what I was talking about. Like us before, we were just this group of guys that they pick from ever. Oh, we can't take this kid Rob Sims, 4th rounder from Seattle, but he got a little bit of skill, and him and Raiola together, they're going to be a terror together, right? So I think that's I think at some point we got to kick the door down, and that's what Dan is doing right now. But like you said, you still have to evolve the culture at some point and get it to a place where it can win consistently.
It just looks like he's having an issue with these coaches that he hired, and I think it was a great coaching staff he put together, all these former players. But last year he had to relieve Anthony Lynn of his duties. That's his buddy. Anthony Lynn calling the offense. It just wasn't working. Dan's like, hey, it's either you or me here, right? He had to take control of the play calls. They got better as the year went on. Then Ben Johnson came in. Now this year you got Aaron Glenn. They're all friends. They're all friends. And Aaron Glenn went on and say, look, I know Dan's my friend, and I got a job to do. I have a job to do here. I got to do my job. But if they fall flat again today in New England with a rookie quarterback, puts up mega points, there's someone's got to pay.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some changes, for sure. That's the nature of football. That's the nature of it. I think he's a great coach. I love the coaching staff too because they are former players. And I think former players can really connect with the players.
It's a rarity to have this kind of
It's
staff.
very rare, very rare. So I'm just, I'm hoping they get on the right foot today. I think they can. I think they can.
Well, they better. That's the bottom line.
Yeah,
I mean,
no choice.
If you start out the season, especially when you had 3 road games out of 4, or 3 home games out of 4 to start the season, you fumbled 2 of those. This is getting into scary time situation. I don't want to have these conversations about Dan Campbell. I like what he's doing. I like the momentum that we had. But if it starts tailing out and we get back into this 3-13 stuff, we got to start having conversations we don't want to have, right?
Yeah, it's nature of football, absolutely.
And even with a 6-year deal, it's year 2, but you're on the table, right?
Those contracts are meaningless.
They mean
Rob
meaningless.
can tell you that.
Yeah,
meaningless.
They're meaningless. No, we've seen it time and time again. You know, you got to get a multi-year deal, and next year he's gone.
By the way, the Giants have just tied up the Green Bay Packers. We should go around the NFC North.
Here comes Aaron.
2020, Giants and Packers in London. Fourth quarter, how many minutes to go? 10 minutes to go in that game in London. So they're getting another good game.
So let's do that next. We'll do Around the NFC North next right here on the WoodwardSports.com Lions pregame show brought to you by Swiss Insurance. Coming up next, more Rob Sims, more Spencer Raxter. Maz, my name is Stick, and we'll be discussing the NFC North coming up next.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Back to work, man. They're hungry. They're hungry, and that's what you want to see. We know the opportunities that we left on the field as a whole, as a team. Getting back up, coming to work sometimes, you know, when you see that opportunity, it hits you in the chest and it hurts. And it should. It should, because this league is tough. It's tough. It's hard to win. But when you have an opportunity to win, you got to make sure you secure that. So these guys were able to turn the film on. They were able to see some of the stuff we were talking about, make the corrections, and move on.
That's Deuce Staley, who we know has that dog in him.
He does.
Welcome to the WoodwardSports.com Lions pregame show. Yeah, watching him in Hard Knocks, I learned a lot about Deuce Staley, and that's a guy that
He's the real deal.
I would run through a wall for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Love that guy.
Did you play with him at all?
I didn't. I just admired him from afar, man.
Yeah.
I just thought he was a great player, and at Hard Knocks opened my eyes to what he is. I had a chance to meet him when he first got to town, but I like that. I like him a lot.
Yeah. I wonder how much trash talk he's doing to Aaron Glenn though right now,
Oh,
because
my gosh. Can
like
you
when they were
imagine?
going at it in practice, it was friendly, right? But now that your offense is number one and your defense keeps letting you down, like, do you think that he's still getting at him?
Oh yeah. Them competitive juices is running hot right now. Running hot. I'm sure, that's what I'm saying. I bet you they had an unbelievable week of practice. Right? You lose like that, you know, your offense is putting up points like that. They go back in those coaches meetings, and people start pointing blame and things like that. That shows up in the practice field for sure.
See, that's the type of week I thought they were going to have last week, though. Coming off that heartbreaking loss to the Vikings, knowing that you could have won that game, that you should have won that game, and I thought they were going to come out against the Seahawks and just absolutely dismantle
Half
them.
the team did.
Yeah, we did on offense.
Half the team did.
45 points, a lot of points.
That's pretty damn good. Now, what's it like practicing against an offense like that? Why isn't the defense getting better practicing against their own offense?
Well, you got to ask yourself: do you have all the pieces there? Is all the talent there? I mean, that's just part of it, right? You know, some players are talented, more talented than others. But I think it's a progression thing, right? I think at some point the defense is going to say, "Look, I'm tired of getting beat up here in practice. I got and on the games on Sundays. Something's got to change, right? You need those people that are able to do that. Like Stephen Tulloch was a guy like that for us. DeAndre, you know, those guys
Levy.
like. We would get in the fights every day in practice, man. It was mutual respect, but it was you know, we stepped on the field, man. It was like, I'm trying to get you, so they got to do the same.
How many points is okay to give? I know it's just to win the game, but you're playing Matt Patricia and his offense, and the Patriots' offense hasn't been great. They had 14 points the first week, then they went up a little bit. They average a little bit over 20 points a game. How many points is enough to give up to this team and your ex-coach coaching the plays?
I mean, I think you should be under 20 in this game, right? If we could put up 40, I mean, we should be able to put up 30, get high 30s today.
Well, Belichick might be ready.
I think we can.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can. I mean, you got St. Brown back, whether he's playing and he's at full speed, or like you say, he is a decoy. I mean, they still have to prepare for him either way it goes. You know what I mean? So it's going to be tough. But
rookie quarterback you're going against?
Rookie quarterback. I mean, you should be they should be doing their thing today. They should be good.
Dan Campbell has not won a road game yet as head coach of the Detroit Lions.
I did not know that.
Does that start in the back of your head? Because there was a stretch for the Lions for 2 years where we didn't win a damn road game. And is that something you talk about in the locker room? Like, hey, man, we got to get this one for coach, or hey, we're on the road. We haven't got one in 2 years almost.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, no, those are tough, man, and those are themes that you hear walking around Allen Park. Right?
Okay.
I remember when we were, when I was playing, we weren't rushing the ball very well. Like, we were opportunistic.
No 100-yard rushers.
Well, we had no 100-yard rushers, and they kept saying that, right? It get under your skin a little bit. So, I mean, it was a lot of talks in the offensive line, like, hey, we need to get this fixed and fixed right now.
And then finally Reggie Bush did it.
And we brought in Reggie Bush, my man Reggie. Saw him a couple weeks ago, too, actually.
He's doing good on Fox.
He's doing great.
He's got a Wendy's commercial out.
He's doing great, man.
He didn't get his Heisman back, but he got his Wendy's back.
Yeah,
right?
he got that bacon pub burger. He got that back.
The bacon pub burger.
I said he's got Wendy's money now, man.
That sounds good, by the way.
Yeah.
But I love how he is trolling that whole situation, and he's able to talk about it. Like, hey, man, I can't get that back, but I can get my Wendy's back.
It's great, man. No, he's doing good. Now, we were with the Big Noon Kickoff crew and Coach Meyer and stuff. He invited me out.
He's good on that.
He's great. He's great. He had me at the big house. I was itching the whole time, but other than that, it was great.
I'll be damned, man. Do you think he ever coaches again, Urban Meyer?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Yeah, I think he finds a place to go play. But let me tell you, those are great jobs he's got right now. Traveling the country, eating at the best restaurants, seeing every single game.
And we know he loves those steakhouses late night.
Oh, man.
Crazy. We all do.
Hey, listen, if I can have a blonde girl on my lap in a steakhouse, that's happening every night of the week. So,
it's just these damn these camera phones. They kill you every time.
Yeah, it ain't the camera phones if you're not acting up, man. I hate to tell you, if you ain't doing nothing wrong, it's not the camera phone. You ever go out and party with Urban a little bit? Because Braylon was just with him in Iowa last week, and I was texting Braylon. I was like, "You better go party with Urban Meyer."
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a party. I did have a dinner with him a couple times with Reggie a couple years ago when he was with the Fox the big kickoff before, and like I said, I got to see him this week. So no partying, which I probably should. I probably missed a good time, but it was cool. It was cool to connect with him for sure.
Hey, Packers and Giants again. About 8 minutes to go in this game. 20-20. Giants forcing the Packers to kick. So NFC North getting a little tighter maybe. Bears and the Vikings today. Vikings at home, a 7.5-point favorite. But here it is, Rob. They're coming from London. What is that game? I mean, they're coming from London, and they're playing now, this week.
Yep.
What is that? Usually it's a bye week after you play London.
Yeah, right.
But they're playing, man. Do you think it takes a little bit out of them? Do the Bears have a chance in this game?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think Minnesota is just a better team all the way around. Obviously the travel doesn't help, but at some point, you playing football, you got to just turn it on and do what you do. Well, we'll see, but I got the Vikings on this one.
How about the Bears themselves? I mean, Justin Fields struggling, obviously. I always call him Justin Fields. It's Justin, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I call him Josh Fields by accident. I don't mean any disrespect to your brethren at Ohio State.
Right.
But what's going through that kid's mind right now? It's the second coach that he's had. He comes in as a defensive coach that they hire, and Eberflus from the Colts. And Matt Nagy wasn't a real good coach for him as well. What is this kid getting ruined?
I wouldn't say ruined, but like we were talking about Geno earlier, right? These are obstacles in his way, right? I think when you're a younger player, the most important thing you can have is consistency, right? It takes you about 3 years to get what the NFL is, how you should take care of your body, the speed of the game, the knowledge of the game. It takes about, to me, 3 years to really hit your stride. So obviously you almost got to start over when you get new coaches coming in, right? New way of doing things, new things they want you to do. So, I think it's hurting him, but I think this is something he can overcome.
So you do believe in him that he could be a good NFL quarterback?
Oh yeah. That's a Buckeye now. He can
I know
get it
that.
done.
But Buckeye quarterbacks. Come on now.
What do you think that is about Buckeye
You brought up
quarterbacks?
Mike Tomczak. To me,
that's true.
He's the best Buckeye quarterback ever.
Well, back to obstacles. Troy Smith in Baltimore, before he got sick and Flacco came in, he was about to take off. I believe that. I know Troy personally. Saw Troy a couple weeks ago. I think Troy's a
He's your
great
national
player.
champion quarterback.
He is not our national champion.
I thought he was.
No, Craig Krenzel.
Yeah.
From Sterling
Krenzel.
Heights.
That's
Wow. Brett Musburger's favorite guy. He's still Craig Krenzel.
Yeah, Craig Krenzel.
My bad.
Craig Krenzel. But,
so keep going.
But, yeah, the Buckeye quarterbacks haven't had much success in the NFL. Actually, Haskins, unfortunately, he passed away.
Yeah.
So, we had high hopes for him. But I believe what Josh can do. His talent level is good. And then the C.J. Stroud, the guy we got going right now, he's unbelievable talent. He's unbelievable.
So there's no truth to the quarterback coming from Ohio State really can't play in the NFL rumor.
I don't believe that. I don't subscribe to that at all.
Those
It's
are
everybody else.
Those are such weird qualifiers too, right? Because they're consistently putting people in the NFL. And how many successful NFL quarterbacks are there? Maybe a handful.
Yeah.
And so it's so hard to be that one school that pumps them out. When Cal's given us Aaron Rodgers. Cal isn't a great quarterback school, but they delivered a great quarterback.
Right.
So when we have those conversations, as long as you're putting out
Goff,
pros,
Georgia. Georgia, Matthew. You haven't had that many others that have been great.
Jake Fromm, baby.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Jake Fromm.
I thought he was going to be good.
Jake from State Farm.
I thought he was going to be good. My bad. My bad on that one.
Justin Fields playing for the Bears. Where do you think the Lions fall in the NFC North? Record-wise, we at the bottom right now.
Yeah, record-wise, at the bottom. I think realistically we're fighting for third.
Okay.
Third place. I do. I still, I think Aaron can turn it on into the season. Like, he'll get those guys figured out, and I see them being, the best. Minnesota is playing well for the most part, but we could prove 2 weeks ago we can beat them. We're right there.
They're escaping, man. They win last week against the Saints on a lucky, double doink out for the Saints, and they beat us. I mean, they're playing tough at the end, man. That's the thing. They're winning the games.
No, absolutely. They're playing tough. They know how to win. They know how to get out of a game. I can't say the Bears over us just because, we had epic battles back when I was playing, and I just believe we can beat them. I just think we can.
Yeah, that's when they had Peanut Tillman. He was one of my favorite defenders to watch play football, man.
Yeah, man.
Where did you have the Lions before going into the season record-wise? What did you think they were going to do?
I thought they were just 7 or 8 games.
Okay.
I thought we were 7 or 8 games. I thought we would take a step in the right direction with Dan coming back for another year. I still think it's possible, right? As we keep talking through these things, get this one today and then come strong after the bye. I think you'll be okay.
How important is this game to them going into the bye? You're either 2-3 or you're 1-4 going into the bye, and you have Dallas on the other side.
It's huge. It's because it's all confidence, right? You land on the beach or doing whatever you're doing over the break. You don't want to be sitting there like, oh man, I'm just going back to finish out the season. You want to feel like I need to get back. We need to get ready so we can go rattle a few off here, get back on track.
What did you do during bye weeks? Did you go to the beach?
I went to the beach. My wife is from Miami. Her dad actually played for the Dolphins. So I actually would go to a lot of Dolphins games for some reason. I don't know why. But, her dad played with Marino and those guys and stuff like that. So it was really cool to go back there. And I love those guys from Ace Ventura movies. So I go back there.
Aces out, Dan.
Yeah. So it's cool.
Do you and your wife have any kids?
We have 3.
Are they just mega athletes?
We have 3. Yeah, pretty good.
I mean, your dad played in the NFL. You played in the NFL. Your wife's dad played in the NFL.
Yep. It's pretty good. My father-in-law, Tony Nathan, has a national championship.
Tony Nathan?
That's my father-in-law, yep.
The hook and ladder.
The hook and ladder.
Tony Nathan.
Yeah.
Against the
he'll
Chargers.
tell you it's called the hook and lateral.
Hook and lateral.
You'll call it the ladder. Yeah, that's what you'll say. But
man, what a play. That's one of the greatest plays in NFL history.
But it's so cool to, have all that history and that, generations of being in NFL.
Yeah,
being
that's
professionals.
awesome.
It's pretty cool.
You feel like that benefited you, knowing how to prepare to be a professional, and you're seeing it with Marvin Harrison Jr. at Ohio State right now, and whenever there's that legacy, because it's not guaranteed, right? Being in the NFL, what's the percentage of humans that make it? Very, very small.
Very
football
small.
players, even to make it to that level without getting injured, you hear so many stories of guys that could have made it. So the fact that generations and lineage is making it in, it says something about just your level of talent in that family and how how it just helps you get prepared for it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like, I look at when I'm looking at a young Dylan Raiola, right? I'm just thinking to myself like, well, he sat at a table and broke bread with Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson and myself and whoever else, Golden Tate, Reggie Bush, Nate Burleson, Dan Orlovsky. You seeing all these people that are doing really good things in the world, and you don't fear what the NFL or competition is anymore because those are just guys.
There's dudes.
They're dudes, right?
Yeah.
They're not these godly Greek figures that you put on pedestals at times, right? So I think for the kid that wants to play, he learns from a very young age, right? These guys put their pants on like I do, and I can play at that level. So
quick update from London. Saquon Barkley takes it in. Giants lead the Packers 27-20. How about that?
Oh, and Saquon was not having a great game before that either.
He's starting to play good now, man.
Yeah.
They're rolling.
He's on my fantasy.
6 minutes to go. He's on mine as well. 6 minutes to go, man. The Packers could lose this game. I didn't think they could.
Yep.
Let's see what is.
That's still a lot of time, though. Aaron Rodgers, we know he likes to get down the field.
I know, but let me ask you about Aaron Rodgers and this Packer team, Rob.
Yeah.
These wide receivers, you lose Devontae Adams over to the Raiders. You draft 2 young rookies that are playing and starting, and they're going to be good.
Yep.
And you got cagey veterans. You got Cobb and who's the other guy? Alan Lazard.
Yep.
Are you scared of this team still? Two solid running backs. Defense is really good still.
You should always fear Aaron. Always. I've never seen
your eyes when you say that tells me that you ain't lying either.
I have nightmares about going up those Lambeau trips.
Really?
Nightmares, man. First of all, it's the worst food. The beds are uncomfortable. It is always freezing up there, snowing or something, or it's just frozen.
What's wrong with the food?
Aaron.
It's just cheese.
I don't know, man.
I like potatoes and cheese.
A lot of curds. I'm not like a curd guy. I don't like curds.
You don't like cheese curds?
I don't like cheese curds. Maybe on some poutine with some gravy. I can get down with it. But just a straight up fried curd. No, it's not good for your digestive.
But Lambeau I call Lambeau's a church.
It is. The stadium is. But when you lose. You know what I mean? Churches are good for weddings and funerals.
Did you ever win? Did you ever win in Lambeau?
Yeah.
Did you ever get a win in Lambeau?
Did we win in Lambeau?
I don't think so.
No.
Damn.
I lost a lot more than I won for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just I got this picture of me always. I feel like I'm always looking at the clock. Like we just don't have enough time. We don't have enough time.
Dude, what makes Aaron Rodgers that bad of a man? Honestly, because when you're watching him, he's not the most athletic guy. He's not the quickest guy. He's not the tallest guy.
He slips around.
He just finds a way to get it done constantly.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that it factor. It's not a lot of show to it. Right. It's not a lot of. But he's just like, if he's going to put the ball on your back shoulder, it's going to be on that back shoulder, right? If he's going to lead you down the field, I mean, you can see even in the beginning those young guys you were talking about that dropped those balls.
Christian Watson,
those balls are in his hands.
Yeah.
He put them in his hands.
And he's getting mad at him because I drafted Romeo Doubs in my dynasty league, so I've been following him forever. But like in training camp, he was getting mad at Doubs for like, hey, when the defender's on the outside of the hash and you're on the inside, that ball's coming on the inside of the hash. You need to start working your way more in, and it's just those little things that turn you into a much better player.
You get pass interference on that too because the defender's coming back in as you're reaching in for the ball.
Yep. Detail.
So smart.
He's very detailed.
So how the hell did he slip in the draft like that? That's crazy.
Everyone makes mistakes, right?
49ers wanted Alex Smith more.
Yeah. Well, we're not as smart as we think we are, right? As everybody.
I'll tell you, C.J. Stroud yesterday was throwing the ball like Aaron Rodgers-esque.
He puts it right there.
He puts it like where the defenders had no chance to get that ball.
Yep.
I was so impressed with him yesterday. I might change my mind on Ohio State quarterbacks.
Oh, there you go.
I might.
I think he had more touchdowns than incompletions.
He's
6 touchdowns.
He just put it, man. He put it where only Marvin Harrison was going to get that. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a tough game. You want to go around the league?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk about all the other games that are going on today. We will do that next. Plus, we want to get some of your score predictions, so make sure you drop them in the chat right now.
Make sure you keep track. I want to get Rob's picks here.
Okay,
Make sure we keep track.
And if you go to woodwardsports.com right now, Maddie put up an article from all of our predictions, too, here at the network, so we can go over all of those while we do it. We'll be right back with former Lion Rob Sims right here on the Woodward Pregame Show, brought to you by Swiss Insurance.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
About 45 minutes to kick off. We are live right now on woodwardsports.com. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network pregame show for your Detroit Lions versus the New England Patriots. My name is Stick.
Pack is driving.
Tom Mazawey on the desk. Rob Sims is here, and of course Spencer holding it down in the TD booth.
Hey, when's the Rob Sims show starting here on Woodward Sports?
I think it just started. You're hired.
Am I in?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I was looking for a job, man.
We need you.
Thank you. Bring me in.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah,
Put me in, coach.
We can wear primitive stuff, and
Hell yeah.
we
Let's
can
do
smoke
it.
primitive stuff while we're doing the show. I'll be your co-host
now
for
we're
that.
talking. Now we're talking.
Hey, I want it for my migraines. Don't forget me.
Yeah, I got you, man.
I couldn't see Maz. Have you ever even smoked, Maz?
No, I've never smoked, but I love the smell.
Oh, yeah?
I swear. I absolutely love the smell. My
coming
neighbors
on
are
the
all
cologne.
over it. I just go outside and I'm good.
I just go to concerts just to smell the concert.
I have my friends who just blow it in my face. All right, Tom, now, here you go.
Hey.
Pause. Damn it. Oh, man. That's going to come back to haunt me. That's going to come back to haunt me. I meant the smoke.
All right, let's go around the league, get some scores.
I hate you.
A little bit of pickup, plus we'll get the Lions score predictions.
This is just
we'll try not to blow it on Maz's face.
On a daily basis, this is what happens to me. I get no break.
Maz, why don't you take us through the matchups and we'll go through our picks.
We're going to pick Lions last, all right? Let's start off with the Dolphins at the Jets at the Meadowlands. Jets are a home underdog, getting 3.5. I'm going to start with Rob. Jets at home, getting 3.5 from the Dolphins. Your wife's Tony Nathan's squad.
Tony Nathan's squad. I'm going to take the Jets at home here. My man Braylon Edwards is up there.
Hey.
And bring him a little luck. I'll take Braylon. I'll take the Jets.
Take the Jets in the 3.5. Spence?
I'm going to take the Jets as well. You know, without Tua, they're going to New York. It's going to be tough. Salah's got that defense rolling. I'm going to go with the Jets.
All right, Stick.
Yeah, I'm going with the Jets, too. I think Garrett Wilson's coming on. I like the way he's been playing.
I just sat him. I just benched him.
Why?
I put St. Brown in.
Well, okay, that's fair. I mean, he's no St. Brown yet, but as a rookie wide receiver, I like him. I like the running backs that they have in place now. Quarterback starting to work itself out. Salah's defense is always going to be Salah's defense. So, yeah, I'll take the Jets here. Sorry, Dolphins.
Hey, I'm going to go with the Jets as well. How could I not? That's part of my heritage. But the Jets and Dolphins always play great games together. I remember Wesley Walker when I was a kid scoring, 5 touchdowns in that game. Matter of fact, Braylon sent me a picture of him and Wesley Walker. Loved Wesley Walker. Loved Mark Gastineau, Joe Klecko, Abdul Salam, Marty Lyons, that sack exchange. Give me the Jets, baby. Here we go. Game number 2. Your former team, the Seahawks, at the Saints. Saints are a 5-point favorite at home, coming off that loss in London. Who wants to lead off this time? I'll let Spencer lead off.
I'll lead it off. I'm going New Orleans. I think, you talked about Garrett Wilson coming on. Chris Olave is really coming on. The dude's
13 targets last game.
Dude's being a monster. It's in, down there in New Orleans. I don't think is Jameis playing. I don't think
no. Yeah, it's a red rifle.
And Andy Dalton's not that much of a step down. Like he was still a good quarterback for a while. Jameis might have a bigger arm, but Andy can still get it done. So I'm going with the Saints at home.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. 2 words. Red Rocket, baby. Andy Dalton in that offense.
So you're giving 5?
I'm definitely giving 5. I think this could potentially be a blowout game. Seahawks, even though what they did to us last week, I still don't believe they're for real. I don't believe Geno Smith in his 10th year has all of a sudden become a top 10 quarterback in the league. This is going to catch up to him eventually, and I think this is the week.
All right, Rob.
I agree on a lot of that, but I'd say I'm picking the Saints because New Orleans is just a party, right? And Seattle is coming from the Pacific Northwest down there. I know those boys been eating all kind of gumbos and oysters and all that good stuff.
That really that affects you, don't it?
It affects you a little bit, and you go to New Orleans, there's a party inside that stadium. So I'm gonna go with New Orleans, man. I think they just got a great vibe down there as just going to a game in general.
I will give you this stat: teams coming from London playing their next game usually do not do well. The Saints are home and they're desperate; they need a win. I like New Orleans. Seattle might cover that number, though. But I'll take the Saints all day and give the 5. All right, the Titans and the Commanders. This is in Washington. Commanders are a 2-point home underdog. Stick, you lead it off.
That's a tough one, but I'm a believer in the Titans. They haven't really shown me what they did last year, but I think they're going to come around, and this is a get-right game for them. There's some injuries going on with Washington. I think Terry McLaurin may have a big game for Washington. Logan Thomas is now
Brian
out.
Robinson's playing.
Brian Robinson is playing.
Kid got shot less than a month ago.
It's crazy.
He's playing.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he's superhuman, but also if you have Antonio Gibson, that's going to slide into his carries too, so watch that in fantasy. I'm going to go with the Titans.
Spence?
Yeah, I'm going with the Titans, too. I think, we saw the Commanders. They couldn't stop the run against us. They're going up against Derrick Henry. He hasn't had a great year, but he's still Derrick Henry. Like, the guy is a freak of nature.
And they got Robert Woods back now.
And the Commanders have the worst offensive line in the NFL. So even losing Harold Landry, that like the Titans did, I still think they'll be able to pressure Wentz and get him on the ground a couple times.
All right, you're up there, Rob.
Other than King Henry, which I think he's one of the best backs out there, Mike Vrabel, I'm a big fan of Mike Vrabel.
Yes.
Something a lot of people don't know is Mike Vrabel's dad was my principal in high school.
Really?
I can't believe that.
That's awesome.
I've known Mike ever since I was a sophomore in high school.
Was his dad like a disciplined-ass dude?
Very, very much so.
Yeah.
But he was always cool with me because I was going to Ohio State, so he was cool with me.
He's a hell of a coach, too, Vrabel.
He's a hell of a coach, man. Mike is a guy that would come back and run with us in the summers, put a dip in and run. If you put a dip in and run, I mean, you're a solid dude.
He's everything we want Dan Campbell to be, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, if Dan Campbell could be Mike Vrabel as a head coach, I'd be ecstatic.
Love Mike Vrabel.
Yeah. I'm taking Washington here. I believe that they are going to get this win at home. They wore their All Blacks last week, though. They wasted them.
Those were sweet.
They were sweet. They should have worn their All Blacks this week, but I'm taking Washington at home. Eagles and the Cardinals. Undefeated Philly at the Cardinals. Cardinals are wearing all black, including a black helmet that's going to knock your socks off. They look really good. Rob, I'm going to lead with you. Cardinals they're at home. They're getting 5 at home, the Eagles. Going to Arizona.
As much as I want to say Philly, a lot of the guys that we played with here, coached here, are in Philly. Ted Raff, Jeremiah Washburn are there right now. I mean, I think Arizona's just doing they're playing really, really solid right now. And it's hard to play in AZ. Another place where you like to, hang out a little bit.
Scottsdale, good time.
It's a good time in Scottsdale.
Those pool parties get real.
Oh, yeah.
All right, how about you, Spence?
I am going to go with Philly. I think they have one of the best defensive line rotations in the NFL with all the guys they have up there, and not even including Jordan Davis, their rookie, who's playing well when he gets in the game. So I'm going to go with Philly. Jalen Hurts has been electric this year.
Not last week.
They have arguably the best wide receiver tandem in the league with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. So I'm going to go with Philly.
All right, Stick, you're up. Arizona, home dog.
Philly is one of those teams where they're good. I know they're good, but my brain won't let me think that they're as good as they really are. So I just doubt them for some reason. So for some reason, I got the Cards winning this game. I like the Cards. I like their offense. They're starting to get their rookie tight end Trey McBride involved a little bit, and Kyler Murray. If he has a big game, they'll win.
They need a big game from him.
Yeah.
He hasn't been great this year.
No.
He was good second half last week, but they're not hitting on all cylinders. I do like him still. I think Philly's got to lose eventually. Why not this week to the other dirty
That's what
birds?
I think. Like, how long can Philly keep this up? Is this team really that good? Do you think so, Rob? Do you think they're just winning?
You saw them in week 1 what they did to us.
Yeah, they've been playing pretty solid, man.
Okay.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, are they a top 5 team? I'm not sure, but they're playing well. They got playing that defensive line. They're playing well.
The Giants just stopped the Packers deep in Giant territory. G-Men getting the ball 27-20. with a minute and 2 seconds left in the game. Looks like the Giants are going to pull the upset unless they do another miracle at the Meadowlands, but they're not at the Meadowlands. They're in London. I'm taking the Cardinals to win that game. Bengals at the Ravens.
Ravens.
A Sunday night game. Bengals, the Super Bowl runners-up against the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. Stick, I'm going to let you lead this off. Ravens are favored by 3.5 at home.
Yeah, just as I don't think the Eagles are as good as they've been, I don't think the Bengals are as bad as they've been. And I think that eventually they're going to get on track and become that Super Bowl team that we saw last year. I'm going to roll with the Bengals in this game.
All right, I'm going to go to you, Spencer.
I'm going with the Ravens. I think John Harbaugh, obviously, he's one of the best coaches in the NFL. Lamar Jackson's winning MVP again this year. The dude has been lights out. He has more touchdowns than 85% of the NFL. So I'm going to go with the Ravens in Baltimore.
All right, you're up there, Rob.
I'm going Ravens in Baltimore. I think after last week's loss, they go back to the drawing board and get some things figured out with play calling and time and clock management.
Do they go on 4th and goal again from the 5?
I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to go kick one this week. And I think Lamar's playing for the biggest contract in sports history potentially, and he's going to do it without an agent. So I'm going to go Lamar.
What do you think about Lamar Jackson and the potential of if he comes to Detroit? Because that's been something that's been talked about. There was a rumor a month ago that there were 3 teams on his list. Miami was one of them. Detroit was one of them. And there was another one that already has a quarterback in place. We already spent $30 million a year on Goff. He'd want $50 million a year. We're going to have $70 million available in the salary cap next year. So if we signed him, we'd have $50 million in salary cap plus Lamar Jackson. We could do it.
I mean, the guy puts up video game numbers every single year. Every year. Every game. He's unreal.
Do you think there would have to be too much of a change of the offense, though? Because what they do in Baltimore with him is not what we're doing right now here with Jared Goff, right? You'd have to kind of completely overhaul what we're doing. Do you think that's worth the investment?
I think it's worth it.
Okay.
I mean, I think we can score points now, but I think you're more dangerous with a Lamar. And, I mean, you keep some of those pieces, you keep your offensive line, and you put some other pieces around them, you're fine.
You're crazy, man. They're not getting Lamar Jackson. They have their quarterback. They're done.
Everybody
done.
calls Goff the bridge quarterback, right? Is he going to be here in 5 years? Who knows?
He might.
Who knows? Listen, I want that to be the case. I've been a Goff fan since I was one of the only ones that were like, guys, he's a good damn quarterback. He took a team to a Super Bowl. And then I hear, no, he didn't. Todd Gurley took the team to the Super Bowl.
100% Todd
It's like,
Gurley.
shut the hell up.
It's not 100%.
Shut the hell up.
100% Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley was like one of the best seasons by a running back in NFL history.
Anyway, I got to
There was
pick
still
this
a
game now,
quarterback
too.
that still led the team there. Like, you can't take away what a guy did, period.
I'll take the Ravens at 3.5. All that said, give the 3.5. And we got one more game tomorrow night, Monday Night Football. The Raiders got off the schneid last week. They are at Kansas City. The Chiefs starting to roll. They're favored by 7. Rob? Kansas City or the Raiders?
I'm going Kansas City. I think we all saw Mahomes' performance last week in the eye of the tiger he had, and I think he's coming back to do it again. I think it's going to propel him into a good season.
Freak.
Yeah, he is.
All right, we're going to go to
You know, he's a
Spencer.
Detroit Tiger, too. The Tigers own his
rights. Yeah. Tigers own
The
his
Tigers
rights.
drafted him, so if he ever decides to go play baseball one year. So the Detroit Tigers have drafted more Super Bowl winning quarterbacks than the Lions.
There you go.
Interesting.
Bada bing. Spence, who you got on Monday night?
I'm gonna go with obviously the Chiefs, man. I'm so upset because the Raiders added like 2 of my favorite players in the league. Like Devontae Adams is my favorite receiver. I think he's the best receiver in the NFL. And Chandler Jones, freak of nature, one of my favorite players. And they're just bad. I don't know what it
And
is.
I love Max
They're bad.
Crosby too.
They're bad. Yeah, and the Chiefs, Kansas City is one of the toughest places to play in the NFL. And like you guys said, Patrick Mahomes, he's an alien, man. There's something different about him. So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
You're up, Stick.
Yeah, I don't think the Raiders are as bad as their record
They're
says,
not.
but I think the Chiefs are damn good, and the Chiefs are going to blow them out.
No, they're not. I like the Raiders and the points to keep it close.
You want a gentleman's bet on this one?
Absolutely.
On this
Well,
one?
You already owe me.
Double down on lunch?
Double it up.
Yeah, what was it that I owed you for? What did I lose on?
It was some sucker play that you did. It was Lions preseason game or something like that.
Oh, no, it was who someone making the roster, right?
Oh, yeah. It was Jared Davis.
Jared Davis
You
not
said-
making the team.
I
I said
said
he was
Ja-
going to make the team.
And I said he wasn't. He was among the first cuts. Yes, he's on the practice squad now. and that's good.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him.
Well,
But,
they should let Jared Davis play. It can't be much worse than what we've seen.
Okay, I got the Raiders +7 against you tomorrow, 2-0.
Done.
All right.
Double lunch.
Let's do it.
And now let's get to the Lions. You want to get to the Lions, or you want to save that till the end of the show?
I think we save that. Take a break and come on back and talk Lions and Patriots.
Let's do that then. We'll take a break right here on the Lions pregame show on woodwardsports.com. Brought to you by Swiss Insurance. My name is Stick. Rob Sims sitting in with us, Maz, and of course, Spencer Raxter. We'll be right back.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore. I have a lot of energy. It's great. And oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. What will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
But it couldn't come at a better time for us. I mean, it actually is a blessing. And so it'll be huge to have this bye next week because we will get a significant amount of our players back and very good players back. So it's a blessing. Good Lord's looking after us.
There's Dan Campbell talking about the bye week and it being a blessing. I wish that was under different context, but you know what? It is what it is, and maybe we do need that bye week to do a little reset. It's the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick. This is the Lions pregame show. Lions taking on the Patriots at 1:05 today, so we're about 35 minutes away from kickoff. Tom Mazawey is here. Rob Sims is here, and Spencer. Rolling on into the bye week.
Yeah. Rob, what do you think about the bye week early versus later in the season? What do you prefer? And is this bye week at the right time for this team?
Yeah, I think I like it right smack in the middle, right? Kind of to break it up, so you get your you get your time to kind of recuperate a little bit and make the push to the playoffs. But I think this is the right time, right? Like especially when you stumble out the gate in the very beginning, it's kind of cool to get a week to kind of your coaches go back to the drawing board, you rest your mind a little bit, and then come back and see if you can make a run.
Giants took a safety.
No way.
It's 27-22. They're kicking off to the Packers. 10 seconds and counting.
I wish
Packers
we had the camera
at the 42.
I wish we had the camera on Rob. He's just like, you're giving Aaron Rodgers too much time.
Packers are at the 42, almost at the same spot where they Hail Married us on that Thursday night game.
Here comes the sheriff. Here he comes.
One play left. Unbelievable.
Here he comes.
How do you give that guy any chance?
I don't know, but Brian Dable made a. I can't really follow because we're doing all the things here.
Right.
So I don't know if he took it on purpose or.
I'm sure he took it on purpose, try to burn more clock and take the safety.
Yeah, because they would have had to punt out of the end zone anyways.
And then you're punting out of the
kick.
end zone to Aaron Rodgers with 40 seconds left rather than.
They're on the 45. Here we go.
Oh, boy.
7 seconds to go. I'll keep you posted. You guys chat for a second.
Yeah, okay. You watch that game, Maz. Talking about the Lions and the Patriots today. Some of the score predictions are up now at woodwardsports.com. Braylon has the Lions winning 35-24. Adam has the Patriots winning 17-14. Ryan Ermanni, Mr. Lions 10 wins, 12 wins perhaps, has the Lions winning 25-24 in a very close game. Darren McCarty, Lions 31, Patriots 28. Neil Rule, Lions 24, Patriots 23.
Wow, Neil Rule's got the Lions winning?
A lot of people here. Jeff Iafredi, Patriots 24, Lions 20. Easy, Patriots 23, Lions 20. Spence, I'll let you read your own. Nick Leach at Lions 33, Patriots 9. Wow, Nick Leach expecting a blowout today.
He's expecting a shutdown of Matt Patricia's offense. Is what he's expecting.
Well, he is a defensive genius.
Yeah.
And Matty Miller, Lions 31, Patriots 24. Rob Sims, what about you? If you had a score prediction on today's game.
Lions 27. I'm going Patriots 17.
Ooh, so you think we're going to pull out the win?
I think so. I think we got to win today.
Why do you think so?
I think you got the, on the road. You haven't had a road win. I think you've had you got Patricia, that element, and I think you got an offense coming off of they put up 45. I mean, I think there's a lot of confidence there. So
they caught Ryan. They caught him. They got him. They sacked him.
Oh, they sacked him.
They sacked him.
Okay.
I scared you for a bit, didn't I? 27-22.
Okay.
Giants upset the Packers.
Wow.
They were 8-point underdogs in this game.
Wow.
In London. So congrats to the G-men. Brian Dable, man, he is coaching them up. They're
Good for
4-1.
Good for
the
him.
Giants.
Wow.
And that is not a talented team.
Unbelievable.
I mean, they're without.
See what a coach can do?
A bunch of their wide receivers. Yeah. Well, you saw what he did with the Bills, right? I mean, their Bills offense has been no joke for a couple years. So you knew he was going to transition over there and do something special. But to take the team that they had last year and become 4-1, that's special.
Hey, Spencer, I know we cut you off there. How's your prediction for the Lions?
I think it was Lions 26, Patriots 21.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think the Lions get it done.
And what did you have, Stick?
Where's mine? I had Lions 23, Patriots 20. I don't think we're going to score as many points on the road. Listen, we score a lot of points at home, but this team has a trouble on the road getting things going, and it's an outdoor game. Not sure how that's going to play out with our offense. I still think we got enough to win the game. I don't think they have enough offensive firepower, but we got to keep track of Ramondre Stevenson. To me, that's the entire game. We got to shut down their rushing offense. If we can do that and force Zappy to beat us, we got a good chance.
That's what I think. I think, first of all, I like the Lions to win this game 31-28. But I think Bill Belichick, Bill Belichick has got something schemed up for these guys. He's not going to let this offense score that many points as they've been scoring. One of the highest scoring offenses, if not number one, in the NFL. Bill Belichick's going to run the ball. I think he's going to keep it away from the Lions. So let's talk about Aiden Hutchinson here, Rob. Aiden Hutchinson coming in. He had a good game against Washington. The other games, so-so.
Yep.
He's a rookie. What can we expect out of Aiden Hutchinson today? What do you expect out of Aiden Hutchinson and the rest of that D-line? Is it fair for us to even bring him up as the leader on that squad? I mean, he's the number one pick, but he's a kid.
Yeah, I mean, we can call him the leader. I think he didn't go into a situation like guys before him, like Bosa or those guys. Right, those guys come on the veteran lines, guys that are playing, guys that had success, and they were able to fit in and make immediate impact. Right, I think he's kind of coming in and being asked to be the guy.
Yep.
And be the guy to show up.
And the only guy.
And the only guy. It's hard to do your third game in the NFL, right? It takes time to play every player, really understand how to play the game, to slow down, what you need to do, different offenses that are going to be thrown at you. So, I think it's a little unfair for him right now, but I do think he's a talent. I do think that.
One of the complaints I've heard is he's just becoming a little too mechanical. He's thinking too much and not playing and reacting. And that's a lot of rookies run into that because the game is faster. You're trying to think about your technique, but what got you there was you being a freak. Be a freak, right?
Yep. Yeah, I think that's what got you there. I think the one thing we're not thinking about is when they scheme for you. Right.
They're ready for him.
They're ready for him.
He's the only one they got to scheme for.
Yeah. They're scheming for him. They're probably throwing the tight end over his way. He can go as hard as he wants, but if they got you figured out, they got you figured out.
It's like a sucker play. They let you in, and they just run underneath you.
Yep.
But he needs help, and Brad Holmes went out and he drafted Josh Pascal out of Kentucky. Now this kid hasn't
Maz hates him.
No, I don't hate him.
And Maz hates him.
No, I totally don't hate him.
Bash him all the time.
I don't hate him. I don't know.
Wasted a second-round pick. If we wasted it, you hate it.
Okay, let me say something. He's finally practicing with the team. Okay, so when Brad Holmes drafted Aiden Hutchinson and then came back with Pascal, never mind Jamison Williams, they reached up for him. They got him, but to help the offense that really didn't need help. But nonetheless, they needed defense, and they picked 4 out of 6 players. They got defense. So now, if Josh Pascal can be the guy that Brad Holmes thinks he is, maybe him and Aiden Hutchinson together with the rest of that team. Charles Harris out today. Maybe that got to make a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, you see it. All the best defensive linemen, they got a supporting cast.
Yeah.
They all do. So he needs that.
Have you seen Pascal? Did you watch any of his film at Kentucky?
I saw some of him. I think he is a talent. But then again, you got 2 young guys up there, right? You got 2. They're still rookies. So they need some vets. Show them the way.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for Pascal, honestly.
There's a guy out there.
Ndamukong Suh?
Yeah, he was a former teammate. Ndamukong Suh.
Go get him. I'll tell you what, man. Ndamukong, he came in the first spring ball, and I was like, oh man, it's all not what it's hyped up to be.
Yeah,
this is great. And he came back that next spring, and I was like, thank God he's on my team because I can't block this guy. Period. So he's still got that a little bit in him, man. Why not go get him?
Wouldn't it be good to have a guy like that to teach
just
these
the
kids?
mentality,
experience? Think of his experience levels.
Now he's probably not going to come here. He wants to win a Super Bowl,
right?
But he did start here. Maybe in a way, he could finish his career here too. There's another.
Maybe.
I don't know. Is it worth going out and getting a guy like that?
I'll at least go have a conversation.
Listen, we have the worst defense in the NFL. Yes, it's worth the conversation of going to get in down. I would argue just go get anybody. There's upgrades everywhere.
We don't have the money per se with the salary cap, but everyone circumvents that salary cap, don't they?
Yeah.
Just talk to one player, have him restructure, and next thing you know, you got $30 million to spend.
You got to make moves. You have to do something.
Well, I wish him the best. I hope Aiden Hutchinson can show out today and show up because it's going to do wonders for him going through the rest of this year.
What does Pascal have to do to win you over?
No.
To not say he's a waste of a second-round pick.
He has to just play. He has to not be injured because he was injured in Kentucky, and he had an extra sports hernia on top of that when he came here to Detroit. And it's been quiet in Detroit. They never talk about him. Remember at the beginning of the year? Oh, yeah, Josh Pascal's not here. He's working out on his own. And they never brought him up again. It's another second-round pick. Last year they took Levi Onwuzurike. The kid's not going to play. They asked him about Onwuzurike this week. And Dan Campbell's like, he's pulling his hair and he's doing his thing. And he's like, yeah, that meter's not running.
Yeah, that was sad.
That meter's not running. That's what he said about last year's second-round pick. So now you drop Pascal. That's why I'm pissed. They draft injured players, and they take a chance with injured players. That's the only thing. I want the kid to be good.
Do you think Brad Holmes does that by design, though? I mean, because he gets the later round picks. We got a 6th-round guy starting. We have the 4th-round pick in Amon-Ra St. Brown. So can you forgive him for those second-round picks?
Too in the third.
Kirby Joseph.
You can't forgive the second round. You can't throw away a second-round picks.
So you're calling them throwaways again?
No, I'm not calling them throwaways. And I'm not saying anything bad about Brad Holmes. The jury's out, but it seems that he's building the right team. They stole Malcolm Rodriguez. That kid is a football player. What'd you think of him? Never mind hard knocks, but what do you see in him now?
Man, I mean, he just brings that grit that Dan's always talking about. That is what it's supposed to look like right there.
Spencer, stand up and show Rob your number.
Yeah.
Show him what you got on.
Yeah, shake it for him, Spence. Rob, you got some singles?
Oh, yeah.
He's got number 44. He's been rocking that.
Yeah. Was it Rodrigo?
Yeah, Rodrigo.
Yeah, I met him at a golf outing too, man. I think I like that kid, man.
He's got it, don't he?
Yeah, he wears the cowboy boots.
Yeah.
Man, he's ready to go.
He is really taking that in, man.
Yeah,
I've been with him since day one.
You have.
Yeah.
You and Easy have been on him.
I like him.
They tweeted out. They tweeted out to his mom. All of a sudden, the kid gets on the show, and he's on their show 2-3 times already.
Yeah, not only his mom, his brother.
His brother.
Yeah, with you guys too.
I think he got adopted into the Rodriguez
we're tied in.
Guys.
That's family ties, But literally the day after we drafted him, me and Easy broke down his film, and we were like, everything you like about Nakobe Dean, everything you see about Nakobe Dean that you like, Malcolm Rodriguez does it too. The only reason he fell in this draft was because he's a little short and his arms were a little short. But he's a ball hog. He's a 2-time state champion wrestler. He flies around the field like the guy's. That's my dude. I'm so happy he's showing out, man.
He's probably been your best defensive player.
Oh yeah,
on the field. And
last game in the Woodward text thread, they were literally like, Malcolm Rodriguez is single-handedly going to win this game on the defense.
He's going to try.
He was the only one putting pressure on Geno Smith.
He's at the bottom of the pile every time you get up. He got his bell rung a couple weeks ago. I saw that. He went off, and he came back in. So how bad is it when your 6th-round draft pick is your best player?
It's not good.
No. That's the downside.
Not good.
That's the downside.
What do you think about Brad Holmes, though, and what he's done in this past couple years?
I think with what he's had to work with, he's done a good job.
Yeah.
I think, he's building the offense, the lines the right way. You're trying to build it the right way. We'll bring Aiden in this year. We need some vets. We need some quality vets that we can bring in here to kind of bring these guys up. Not these guys that all have great talent.
Right.
I think the difference when we were playing, we just had the veteran leadership. So I think they just need to.
Yeah, another thing that can't be slept on too that Brad Holmes has done, and we can talk about draft picks, we can talk about players he's brought in, players he's not re-signed, but getting that salary cap right. They're
loaded
huge
next year.
deal.
They're
That
loaded
is
for
a
Bear
huge
next
deal.
year.
Yeah.
And as a player, do you guys really pay attention to the salary cap, knowing like, all right, this year we don't have a ton of money, but next year we're going to be able to sign like 3 or 4 impact guys? Does that mean something to you as a player? Or is it just?
No, I think we're all selfish. We just want our contracts. And that's it.
Oh wait, they got more money? Wait a minute, I need to restructure.
Wait a minute, where's mine?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think human nature there, but I think definitely what we have with the picks, for Matthew. I mean, it seems like he's hitting well on most of the picks, right? And I think, I think that the veteran leadership you bring in, but you need money to do that, right? Those guys will be paid a certain dollar.
Yeah, and next year there's some good names in free agency. You look at, we all know about Roquan Smith. You got Quan Alexander, Jesse Bates, Darren Payne, Brandon Graham, Bradley Chubb. There are guys that you can bring in. You get 2 starters in free agency, you get a starter in the draft, and you got yourself a defense. So I'm excited for that. I want to see them spend some money.
Here's the kicker on that. Now, Rob, I'll ask you. How many people want to come to Detroit?
It's not many. It's it's not first on everybody's
list. Rob. Don't say that.
You told me to choke on a
I want to hear it.
I think that's it's not first on everybody's list, but I think you may have to spend a little bit to get here.
That's what happens.
But when you get them here, man, like you said, I thought I'll be here for 6 months. I've been here for 12 years. You know what I mean? Calvin makes his home around the corner.
Could sleep anywhere.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the thing. We just got to get them in the door.
Yeah.
But that's up to you guys that are the players. The players, don't they go around and say, hey, come on, man, we need you here next year? I mean, that's that talk, isn't there?
That's the talk, but I mean, the thing that talks the loudest is the checkbook.
You think Hard Knocks helps with that, though? It's kind of like a billboard for what goes on in the locker room and like, hey, you may want to play for this coach.
Yeah, I think guys want to get paid. I'll be honest with you.
Hey, follow the money. That's always the answer to anything in life is follow the money. But
I think in a business that is not always loyal to you, right? As a player, right? The loyalty stops at a certain place now, right? That's just the business of football, right? So.
Yeah. The Lions always had to pay more to get the players here. It's just the way it is.
It's the way it is, where it's going to be.
Well, we did all of our picks. I got the Lions. You got the Lions.
We're sweeping.
You got the Lions. You got the Lions. We all got the Lions. Ryan Ermanni did Making the Cut right here at the Woodward Sports headquarters along with Lady Jane's, and he asked some people what they thought of the game. Here's what they said.
You want to bring that in and talk?
Week 5 of the NFL, the Lions with one more game before the break. We are at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, world headquarters in Birmingham, checking in with fans, seeing can they beat the Patriots? We've got Wanmo in the chair. Wanmo, Lions and Patriots this week. They have to get a win, don't they?
Of course they do.
What do you think about it, though? Do you think it's going to happen?
It'll be real close, but we'll end up disappointed like always in the fourth quarter.
That's exactly how it usually works. Just close enough to keep you interested, but not win. Alan in the chair, longtime Lions fan. Are you still a Lions fan, though?
I'm not. I gave up years ago.
Many, many years ago.
Yes, I did.
What do you think it would take to have the Lions win a championship?
Obviously, someone has to spend more money to get better players.
It's the name of the game. Spend money, get better players. All right, we got Noah here. Noah, Lions and Patriots, final game before the break. How crucial is this game to that franchise?
Oh, it's super important. With the loss of Seattle last week, I mean, they need a comeback win. They need the win. 48 points to almost the worst team in the NFL. Come on, you can't have that.
Predict the final for me.
I'm going to go 35-24.
35-20. You think the defense is going to hold them to 24? I'll take it. Don't say another word.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log.
Do this first, then keys.
4, 3,
best of luck.
2, 1.
Your mic's on, Spence. Welcome back to the Lions pregame show.
Count it
That is
down again,
Spencer
Spence.
Raxter counting us down, coming back from break. A little bit behind the scenes here at the Woodward Sports Network.
We don't know what the hell we're doing.
Hey, you know what? We're here to just watch football and
That's
talk
it.
football.
Hey, what's a Sunday for Rob Sims like? An NFL Sunday? Do you have to go to the Apple Cider, or can you watch football?
I can watch football. We're a football house.
Yeah.
We're a football house. So we're sitting there watching football. I got my slippers on. I got a little primitive to my right. And
Yes.
I'm just hanging out.
You got, what was I going to say? Do you have the NFL ticket, or are you just strictly watching the Lions?
I'm strictly watching the Lions, and then obviously I get my 4 o'clock game, and then I'm always the Sunday night game is always my favorite.
It
Right? I'm
is?
like waiting for that.
Yeah, it used to be my favorite game. It's not
Sunday
anymore.
night.
I can't.
Once that song hits,
the
man.
song ruins it for me. The song ruins it for me.
What?
I loved it on ESPN. I was the Sunday night game on ESPN after Chris Berman did his prime time.
Yep.
That was, to me, the way it was. And NBC took it. I don't like NBC's coverage.
Once I hear Carrie Underwood singing Sunday night, I'm like, it's time.
It's time.
It's time. Like, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to just do nothing and watch football.
Are you ready for some football?
Do you watch Red Zone at all?
I watch a little Red Zone. I throw a little. I have like a couple TV. I have that TV going, and then I have a little Red Zone just to see what's going on.
And how many fantasy teams you got?
I only got one, and I'm doing horrible.
Really?
Yeah,
Who
I
else
missed
is in the
the
league?
draft.
Anyone else we
you
know?
auto-drafted?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I got some of McCarty's people in there, McCarty's group in there. I got some people from my staff in there. So I'm
How
not
about
doing
Calvin?
well.
Is he in it?
Cal's not in it.
I get. He can't deal with
I think
that
he
stuff.
lives the fantasy. He is the fantasy.
He does. His whole life's a fantasy.
Do you know any of the players? Like when you play fantasy football, do you know any of the active players? And sometimes you're like, bro, I'm losing by 3 points. Can you help me out?
Oh, I text Stafford all the time. Help me out. Help me out here, man. I need this play.
Do not throw to Cooper Kupp this game. I need 3 touchdowns, but not to
The
Kupp.
other
I'm
guys
going
got
against
Kupp.
him.
I can't believe I didn't put that game on the roster. The Rams and the Cowboys are playing today.
Oh,
Rams.
that's a big
What's
one.
the spread? Do you know? What?
I think the spread's 3.
I want to say the Rams will bounce back, but dude, Micah Parsons is a game wrecker.
Oh, man.
And they have
He
not
killed
been
it.
able to protect Stafford this year, man. That's going to be tough.
He's no Penei Sewell, but either way.
Yeah, he's no Penei Sewell. That's fine. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our keys to the game. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about Primitive and what you guys do. You and Calvin Johnson. It's more than just the medical marijuana end. Like it's about getting people healthy, right?
Yeah, 100%. I think we played this game and obviously suffered a lot of injuries and a lot of bumps and bruises over the time. And cannabis was the way that we were able to play at a high level. And one of us was able to play at a high level. They ended up going to the Hall of Fame. So we believe in it, right? My wife also has an autoimmune disease that we treat with cannabis. So very passionate about that in general. And we just kind of we've been kind of just finding our way in this industry over the last 5 years, and now we're to a place where we've kind of settled, and now we're getting ready to launch Primitive Performance that is going to be more like performance and recovery type products, which we think for us is right. We can tell an authentic story behind.
Right, like electrolyte drinks, stuff that brings down inflammation, all that types of stuff is what you guys are getting into.
Yeah, sleep aids, things like that. And although our local business has been great for us, and we employ 50 people, which I never thought I would get to at this point. Right, is that now we have this whole other thing that we're getting ready to run with, and to really be from at a national scale.
That's awesome.
Start doing so. I mean, it's been great, man. Being the one thing people talk about when they leave the game is the camaraderie. But here I'm with one of my best friends, building a business. We've been doing that for 5 years now, so it's great.
That's awesome.
So now that the NFL has kind of gotten rid of the stigma, and you guys are definitely on the forefront of medical marijuana and how it treats and helps players. When you were playing, how much of a pain in the ass was it in you to try to have to cover all that stuff up? And like, what hoops did you guys jump through to make sure that you never got suspended for no reason, honestly?
Right. Well, as I said before, right, I'm second generation, right? So
I know
the game a little bit.
The P-Man wasn't knocking on the door at 4 a.m.
Yeah, I know the game a little bit.
Tony
Although
Nathan, Pete Foyt? No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I mean, I think the NFL knows that there's a little bit of cannabis culture in the NFL. I think, the people that do care about the players like realize that is probably a safe alternative, right? But how does it look to the rest of the world, right? And as things change, right, they'll be more vocal. But I think it was a little bit difficult to deal with that. But I think if you're smart enough, you can figure it out. And I think they'll give you a little bit of grace to let you do what you need to do to get back on the field.
What do you think the odds are in the NFL for players that do not use cannabis?
I mean,
is it 100%?
That do not?
Yeah, well,
not is probably like 11%.
All right.
That do not. Right. I think there's a lot of guys that use it because they need it. And they see it as something that they can perform with.
It's a better natural painkiller. I will fight that to the death of anything. It's a better it's natural. It's better for you. Period.
Well,
you can't debate that.
I think one thing we don't hear as the public is that how bad the opioid thing got for players.
Right.
What
it leads to.
What it leads to, like what happens when you can't go get that Vicodin when you're done playing. What do you go to?
Right. The needle.
Yeah. Something you don't need to be doing. It's going to ruin your life and ruin your family. Those executives. I mean, we could talk on and on and on about that, right? We hear the behind-the-scenes horror stories of guys that are about to lose everything, opposed to the guys that do cannabis and thrive. So.
Well, Rob, we can't thank you enough for joining us for these 2 hours. Like I told Maz, I thought you were only coming in for 15 minutes.
It's been fun, man.
We got to spend 2 hours with this dude.
We got to have you back more.
Have me, man.
And a lot of people in the WoodwardSports.com chat are like, Rob's a good dude, Rob's a good dude. And not only are you a good dude, you won the Good Guy Award in the NFL,
I sure did. How do
you win a Good Guy Award?
You're just good with the media.
That's it?
You just got to be good with the media.
That's the end of it?
See that slight smile? That's how you win, right there. Let's get into our keys to the game because we got about 5 minutes left. Kickoff is in about 10 minutes. Who are you looking forward to having a big game today, Maz, for the Detroit Lions?
Aiden Hutchinson. I need Aiden Hutchinson to show out today. As a matter of fact, I want that whole Lions defense. Jeff Okudah. Do the best you can. These aren't you're not going against the Seattle Seahawks wide receivers anymore. There's no Metcalf on the field. I'm sorry. The Patriots are not this juggernaut offense. You must step up in this game. And if somebody could roll Matt Patricia for me on the sidelines, I would love it.
Oh, that'd be great if they did, what was that high school movie where the quarterback just drops back and throws it and hits the coach right in the face?
They did that.
Blues.
Yeah, Varsity Blues.
Yeah.
I don't want your life.
They did that in the longest yard.
Always got to protect the
Please, dude, somebody hit Matt Patricia with a football today. Please.
If this son of a gun puts 30 up on the Lions, I'm done. Well, not really, but I'll be pissed. I'll be pissed.
I've been here this long. I ain't done yet.
I'm hooked.
I'm a lifer.
Rob, how about you, man? Yep. How do they win this game? Besides
you got
scoring more
to
points
see the defense respond. That's what you got to see. You got to see the week of getting beat up in practice and being beat up in those meetings. You got to see it translate onto the field. No matter what your talent level is, you got to have some pride out there and go do what you got to do.
Spence, what do you got for your keys to the game?
Yeah, I think they got to shut down, Ramondre Stevenson.
Besides
and Damian
Rodrigo,
Harris.
what's your keys to the game?
Besides Rodrigo, they need to stop Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris. Those two guys are legit. Jacoby Myers is out of this game, so it's going to be on Devontae Parker and Nelson Aguilar to pick up the slack. And I think if we make Bailey Zappi beat us in the passing game, that's how we win.
Yeah, that's it. Control the ball on offense, our running game. Jamal Williams, let's get 150 yards. Keep the ball in our possession. Keep it out of our defensive hand. I don't even care if we're going up against Zappi. I don't trust the defense, so let's just take 40 minutes of time of possession this game. That's how the Detroit Lions are going to win.
And the Patriots are wearing their throwbacks today, Rob. They get the white Pat the Patriot helmet with their red jerseys.
Which is good because that's when the Patriots sucked.
No, they ate Super Bowl 20 in those jerseys.
Super Bowl
20. Maz was at Super Bowl 20.
Yeah, I know.
They met the 85 Bears, though, which could beat any team. But nonetheless,
Maz
that
was
is
covering
a sweet,
Super Bowl 20.
How is it to be dressed so cool for a game, Rob?
I mean, you look good, play good.
Right. So what do you think about the Lions' white uniforms then? Because I think those are the most pansy-ass uniforms in the NFL.
Well, I mean, I was 320 pounds. 320 in white don't look right. It just ain't right. No matter what, no matter how cute I tried to be, you just don't look right.
You just don't look tough, man. At all. And I don't know why we stick with those white uniforms.
I'll make a prediction for you. By next year's draft, for the Detroit draft, they will match out a new logo and a new uniform. because they are due.
Bring the blacks
for some
back.
changes.
Yeah, bring the black.
Yeah, the
I
blacks
like
were
the black
fire.
ones.
Do you like the helmet the way it is? Do you like the lion? I like the lion.
I like the lion.
I love like the
I like
50s
lion.
throwback with the flat pewter and the like those.
You don't want a logo on your helmet? You want to be the Browns?
Yeah, those suck, dude.
Those
You want
suck.
the
Those
Browns?
are awesome.
Yeah.
Less is more, Spence.
Just the
Less
gray
is more.
helmets?
Yeah.
No.
I'm an old man. Remember that, Spence.
I like the Billy Sims uniforms. It was a great blue and silver. I mean, now they went gray. It ain't silver. Bring back the silver.
Just get rid of the white. I don't care what else.
The picture of Calvin wearing the black jerseys with the visor, the tinted visor, it's one of the most intimidating things you'll see ever.
Look at Rob shaking his
He
head.
made me nervous in the huddle.
Yeah.
That was true Megatron.
Yeah.
That was true
Oh,
Megatron.
yeah.
Hey, just win the damn game, Lions, please.
That's it. Yeah.
That's all. Win the game.
We play to win the game. Thank you guys for being a part of the show today on WoodwardSports.com. We appreciate you. Go Lions. Rob Sims cannot thank you enough, man. This was so much fun.
Thank you. Man, that was fun.
Go primitive, everybody.
Go primitive. There you go.
Go primitive.
Go Lions.
Go Lions.
You ended with the legend killer.